What a piece of junk!
This is the Shattered Order Podcast.
Go switch off!
If you're looking for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news, information, and theory crafting, you've found the podcast you're looking for. With your hosts, GoodNightPunk and WinKILLERinc.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 140 of the Shattered Order Podcast. I'm your host, GoodNightPunk, and with me, as always, is my good friend Wink. But you may notice on the opposite side of the screen from us there, if you're watching the live podcast, is our good friends Tmoney G and GoodOl'Maurice. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Whoa!
Hey.
Good evening.
We're on the Shattered Order podcast. What's going on with you?
I'm on that as well. I think.
I have to say, that sounds like a great way to spend a Friday night.
Indeed.
We'll see at the end.
Indeed. Yes, there is no telling how this will go, but we have some stuff to talk about, so we'll see. We will see. So I think this is the third time we've had you guys on, and man, we're good at going off on tangents, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
We all have
Luckily,
gamer crushes on each other, I think. Maybe a little
Yeah,
bit.
kind of. A little bit.
well, luckily there was not a lot of news this week, so we won't have much to talk
That's true.
about.
Yeah.
That's true.
We can just skip right to trivia. Let's do it.
Oh, heck yeah. All right, let's do it.
Cue the music. I just wanted to start off by saying one thing, because I've been completely and utterly enamored with this Apex Legends game. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Yeah, maybe heard of it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, you talking about that EA game they released right before that other EA game, Anthem?
Oh, that
Yes,
super
yes.
beautiful one? Oh my god, I want to play
Interesting
that so
decision there.
badly.
Just really,
Never
really
heard
screwed
of
with it.
It's so gorgeous.
So
You're playing it?
basically, I am playing it, and I'm completely enamored with it. Now it's got the point I'm trying to make here is a Star Wars one, so hold with me. But I've made a bet with someone about puns. So for anyone knows this game, you'll probably catch the 5 puns that I'm about to put out. If not, everyone will have no idea what I'm saying. But this is to describe Apex Legends. It gets me all gibby. It has some banging lore if you research it. I'd say it was worth the wraith, but no one knew it was coming. Seemed more like a mirage than a real thing on the announcement. And free to play, you can't beat that caustic. Alright, so there you go. Now the only reason I brought this up, because some of those were real stretches, so I'm just going to say that. But
I didn't understand anything. I can be honest.
if someone in chat did, please say so. Someone tell me this week that someone understood it. I know the guy that I made the bet with will, so I'll be changing your Discord name to whatever I want very soon, Wookie Cookie. But I wanted to bring up Apex Legends because Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is made by Respawn, who also made Apex Legends, which has blown up 50 million players in the first month of this game.
Wow. Holy man.
So I just wanted to say, I think it's really awesome that the same people that made this really, really popular game that just came out are also the people making the Star Wars game that comes out at the end of this year. So that made me really hyped up for that once I started playing this game, because I know they make good stuff. So pretty
Heck yeah.
excited.
I'm
Yeah,
super
cannot
psyched
wait
about
for
fall,
that.
and it's supposed to be fall now, hey? Maybe like October. They
Oh,
bumped it
man.
up a little bit.
Ooh,
Drop it when
that's
the
gonna interfere with
Disneyland and
football
Disney World
season.
places
Ooh,
drops.
maybe.
Yeah. That'll be awesome. Cannot wait for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how about we talk a little bit about what we did this week, huh?
Hey guys, what did you do in SWGOH this week?
All right, so man, we have quite the range of various things that we did in SWGOH this week. A lot of really good stuff. One thing that I did was I actually made a Grand Arena video. So my round 3 of this previous Grand Arena, somebody suggested, like, you know, just recording and narrating the battles and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's super easy. I don't know why I hadn't thought to do that before. I've always thought, like, hey, you kind of have to live stream them. Well, you really don't. So I just recorded, did some audio, and that kind of turned that into a video, stuck it up, and yeah, go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, youtube.com/shatteredorderpod. You can find the video there. Check it out. It's about 30 minutes long. Wasn't too bad. I screwed up one battle. Other than that, pretty efficient. But if that's something you guys like, that's something we can probably start doing a little bit more often, hopefully. Let's see. The other thing, GoodNightPunk, if you wouldn't mind, that graph I sent you, you have that ready to go?
All right, it's on the screen.
So I remodded my TIE Fighter pilot this week, and this actually came up because of, you know, a discussion that had cropped up in our Discord channel, and it was basically using my spreadsheet, and of course, the spreadsheet that I'm referencing that the image is of, you can actually find at shatteredorder.com/mods. There is a little download button there. But basically, you can put in your damage numbers, your crit damage percentage, and you can compare that, you know, with compare different primaries, compare crit damage sets versus offense sets. Well, something that I found really interesting, we actually kind of started talking about Boba Fett. His leader ability kind of does the same thing, but First Order TIE Fighter pilot, under a crew lead, you're actually better off going with an offense set. Like, I'd always thought crit damage set because, well, he's always going to be landing crits, so naturally you would want crit damage, right? Well, not exactly, because of the amount of crit damage that he actually gets. Makes it more beneficial to go with an offense set because, you know, as you start increasing your crit damage numbers, you know, increase them by the same amount, the percentage between them gets smaller. Well, that essentially causes the offense set to become more beneficial. So the graph that you see is kind of what I modded him to, and essentially he would have to crit 99% of the time in order for the crit damage set to be better than the offense set with the way he's modded. And that was actually by adding a little less secondary offense. So that could fluctuate a little bit more. Actually, after I did this graph, I added a little bit more secondary offense, and that ended up pushing that crit damage threshold up to a point where the offense set is most certainly better than a crit damage set. So I thought that was kind of interesting because that was kind of contrary to my, you know, just natural thoughts about modding the character in general.
Well, do you find this to be true? Pretty much any sort of unique and like leadership that provides additional crit damage. I mean, the same would be. This would be the case, you think?
There are a lot of instances where yes, it would be. Not every case though. Resistance. I checked a couple other characters. Resistance Trooper under a Ray lead. He's still better off going with the crit damage set and, you know, your 3 offense primaries and such. So somebody asked in chat, is that assuming 6E? That was actually with no 6E mods. That was all 5-dot mods. So, adding even more offense will fluctuate that a little bit more in favor of offense as well. So, but it kind of comes down to the amount of crit damage that they're gaining. Getting extra crit damage, through other ways than mods kind of allows you to go more offense heavy on the mods and get a little bit better damage output, basically.
Yeah, just unfortunately, the first 2 years of this game, I did nothing but farm crit damage mods, so I really don't have much of a choice right now. I'm still catching up with the offense. God, it's taking me forever.
It's tough. I was kind of the same way, like loaded up with crit damage, just because it was so much better for so long. But that mods 2.0 making the offense sets worth 15% rather than 10% really change things in a pretty drastic way, actually. So, let's see. Farming. I have been farming Karth and Juwani because they seem like really interesting characters. I don't know what I'm ever going to use them for, but I figured I'd farm them. What the hell? Karth is at 85 out of 100, and Juwani is 85 out of 100. So by the end of this weekend, I'll be done. All that'll be left is some gear because their gear levels are awfully pathetic. And then back to farming Rose, Embo, and Range Trooper. I want to get those 3 finished up because they can go into my Grand Arena teams. Range Trooper I can kind of stick in now probably and be okay. But Embo, I want to get Greedo out of my Bounty Hunter team and get Embo in there because he offers a lot more against Night Sister, which is how I use my Bounty Hunters. And then Rose, I got a freaking Zeta honor, so I might as well, just keep it going. Ugh.
Yeah.
Was that a bet
wanna...
Zeta? Was that a lose a bet Zeta?
Yes.
Yeah.
One
Poor
of
Rose.
2 from the same bet.
One of 2.
1% of players have the Rose Zeta, and 100% of those.
One of them.
100% of those
Regret it.
were as a result of a lost bet or a misclick.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wink has raised his Rose flag, and he's gonna die on that hill with everyone else.
It's very disappointing. She is awfully good against First Order, though. The turn meter reduction and stuff, I'm really just trying to sell her to myself and make myself feel better about it, but she is damn good against First Order. Just so amazing. Wow.
I have a guy in my guild who did it intentionally, and I'll put you in touch with him. Very good player. And he loves the Zeta, so.
Hey.
It is good. It's... You
It might be
definitely
because he's
notice it.
enamored with Rose, but,
I'm still saying, we did an episode of possible Zetas that are good that people just don't do, and she was on the top of my list. So I'm glad he did it, so I didn't have to find out if it was true. But I do say that there's some possibilities there. So
yeah, cool. Who's next?
well, how about you guys? Do you have anything memorable that you did this week in the game? Yeah, exactly.
I think I've spent every crystal I've earned refreshing Ship and Juwani's node. Much like Wink, I just think they're going to be the next meta. That was a terrible joke. No, I'm just farming them for this mysterious event we're getting. just trying to get them ready. I'm in the safe zone. I think I'd get like 20 more for Karth, maybe 50 more for Juwani. And in a pinch, frequently, what do you know? Those shards are available in the whale store there, so if push comes to shove, get them from there. I guess not much is getting gear ready for Darth Revan. I don't have really much of a stockpile at all. I'm one of the buffoons that went in on the droids, so I don't have really anything in the tank. So just trying to get like 200 Carbonis, 100 stun cuffs, 100 stun guns is my goal. So trying to get that knocked out.
Makes sense. So how are your gears on your Karth and all those dudes?
Oh,
all the people.
We're good to go. I got
okay.
Yeah, I've got 4. I think I might have all 5 pieces on Ordo at gear 12.
Oh dang.
Yeah, I got Basila, Karth are ready for gear 12 when I get them done. And then who's the other one? HK. I got a gear 12. And Juani, I'm gonna really try to get by with Juani at gear 7. I just don't really have any use for that character right now, so we'll see.
Very cool.
I'm kind of the same way. It's a little bit. I mean, it's an exciting week as far as news. It's kind of a boring week if you're a player preparing for that news. I did not think I was going to get Karth, but all of a sudden I'm like 20 shards away, so that's great. Oh, I know why. I bought a bunch of shards. I just remembered. So I bought. I was like, I only bought 19 over the past, however many weeks we've been farming. But no, I did buy the 25 crystal pack on the off chance that they weren't going to include it in this round of the whale store. So I did buy that. So I bought 25 plus 19. I don't know, what's that, 300 something. I don't math very well, but yeah. So I bought some shards of that, and I'm ready for it. I was trying to plan it so that I would get it kind of on the last day to not buy crystals. I probably could have done that because I'm so close right now. My Karth and Juhani are at 11. Ordo is not unlocked. Who's the other one there?
Bastila? Did you say?
Oh,
her?
Bastila. Yeah, I've got Bastila at gear 11. She'll go to gear 12 very soon. I love her. She's so great. It's gonna be strange to have to take her out of my EP squad because I just fell in love with her on that squad, so that's too bad. But yeah, and my HK is gear 5. So I don't know if we'll have a problem there.
HK
We'll see.
is gear 5?
Yeah, baby. I'm not a day one player. I'm not an old fogey like you guys.
Whoa. P2 of the tank raid represent.
Jeez.
Going to that
exactly.
1.8 million. Let's
Yeah,
get
I came in and I came in right as we were like starting the tank raid and everyone was carrying droids. I was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, that's gonna be like 4 weeks and then so
I don't think I've used
I skipped that.
IG86 since then. I don't think I've used him one single time since P2 of the tank raid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, he's sitting at
Yeah,
gear
he's
10,
kinda-
which was the
kinda
max
worthless.
then, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where do you go?
Unmodded on the bench.
Yeah, right next to
Yeah, no kidding.
Mob Enforcer.
And yeah, I was just gonna say, other than that, I'm surprised my guild has not been actually going crazy because during TB they just go we all just go off the wall, and that we have been really behaved. Like there's just like, let's invent things to do. Like I don't know, TW if you guys do TW like pretty seriously, with like my guys just go nuts. It's insane. It's like a bunch of athletes who are not allowed to run. So I just spend time going into chat and being like, oh God, I gotta erase that meme.
Yeah, I don't get that crazy about territory war. I know a lot of people do.
I cannot. I think I would go crazy. Honestly, myself. How do you maintain sanity?
Like on off days or
There's
during
this-
territory wars.
During territory wars.
is easy. That's easy. We don't sleep. We're
Oh,
in game all the
okay.
Oh,
time.
that makes it easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
That's
see?
understandable.
Yeah,
Though
Healthy.
that is exactly
Healthy
the
sleep.
part I don't like about territory wars.
yeah.
I tell you
Which is
what,
why-
much like. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, so that's why I like Grand Arena. It's like fight when you want to. It's not these walls. You have to work with everyone. You can just do it when you
Mating
want.
with-
But
People. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's definitely getting to be a bit much. So you have to really realizing now that if you want to keep your guild functioning for a long time, so many guilds, like you guys hear about like Wallet Warriors and what are they now, like the Mighty Warriors, they merged with the Mighty Chlorians, and I think the Dark Lords are in there as well, or maybe they're with Wolfpack. Is like there's all these guilds just kind of merging, and
It's
and
crazy.
I don't know the reasons, but a lot of them are kind of doing territory wars very differently, and I think it is a pressure for guilds, and if you want to be competitive in the long term, you just can't let your people burn out, right? You have to be really careful about that.
yeah, for sure.
That's why we stay up all night.
Got it. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, I didn't have too much going on. Same deal. A lot of farming. I worked the shards to what I wanted to do. And thinking back, I probably should have just waited until the day of the event to buy the pack, but I was 50 out of 50 on both of them the day the packs came out, so I just bought the pack for Juhani and Badstilla. That way I could focus all that energy on gearing them now. So I'm going to use all the energy on gearing those people. So I finished Juhani and what's her face? Badstilla. Cart's at 52 out of 100 now. So I got probably about 5 days till he's 7-star. I've been getting about 10 shards a day at 2 refreshes, so pretty easy to guess about when that ends, but then I'll be done. And it's all the gear after that. It'll be crazy. But the funny thing I realized is I didn't have more than 5. I only have 5 hard nodes left. I did not realize there were that little left. So I had to pick between Range Trooper, Vandor Chewbacca, Amelin Holdo, Visas Mar, or Rose Tico. And I ended up choosing Range Trooper. So I'm curious which one of you guys would have picked.
Range, hands down. I was doing something when everybody was farming range when he came into the store, and I missed out. And I have pretty nice troopers, like they're all gear 12 with, you know, lots of the pieces on them, but my range is 4 stars, and he's my 5th, you know, always, unless I'm going in short. No, and then he's my 4th, right? I think in the 3, and then him, even though he's lower gear. So yeah, he's so good. He makes them reliable. Actually, I took down a first order team with them.
Damn.
Like, I was so surprised. I was like totally out of teams and like begging my guild for help. And they're like, "Do you have your troopers?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Yeah," because it was only a single Zeta crew, but I could have taken it out if it was a double Zeta crew. It was so easy because first order officers is so squish.
Oh yeah, that's
Nice. Yeah.
he's
Range
soft.
Trooper's a beast.
Soft,
I've been.
yeah.
I put a little bit of gear on him this week just because, I mean, he adds so much. I mean, given the additional buffs, the protection, recovery, and yeah, he's awesome.
Yep, so I just went back to Range Trooper also because he's really cheap. He's like on one of the lower, I think he's in level 3 on one of those. Light side or dark side, I can't remember, but he's like level 3, so it doesn't cost as much to do the 8 nodes. So it'll work out for all the gearing I'm having to do. But the last thing is, Wink, after last week's episode, you convinced me, and I went and Zeta Mother Talzin like 20 minutes after the show. So I did use the Zeta. Yep.
Nice.
Her unique or her
using that
lead?
one. The lead. I didn't have the lead. I was never using her anywhere, but then I started wanting it more for 3v3 Grand Arena to have 2 teams. And I also, I guess to go with that, I brought Spirit up to gear 9, working on gear 10, but I'm going to stop that for now because of these other peeps. But yeah, I'm trying to build that the Talzin Daka Spirit team that I have heard has good success from that graphic that I made. So
Nice.
we shall see. Then other than that, just saving.
That's probably my best team.
Oh, yeah?
Better than, yeah, it's got more pieces on it than anything that I have. More 6E too. Way more than my arena team.
Awesome.
Interesting. Nice. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose.
No doubt. All right,
All
so
right.
meat and potatoes time.
Do what?
I said meat and potatoes time.
Oh, meat and potatoes time. Yes, indeed.
Strong with us, this update is Young Padawans.
This update there's been multiple updates and then forum up. There's been a lot of just information and stuff coming this week. Was not expecting all of this, so just totally out of the blue, we found out that Darth Revan is indeed coming.
Scourge of the Old Republic event.
Scourge of the Old Republic.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah, surprise!
So
That came
it
out of left
requires
field.
Bastila Shan, Canderous, Karth, HK-47, and Juhani. Are any of you surprised with the requirements on this?
I'm relieved because
Yeah.
we've been like, we kind of, usually I make the jump for the guild and I'm like, hey guys, okay, let's farm this. And we're just proactively farming things and take the gamble. But this time when this event comes is kind of the first time that we've had a channel to do that with our, people who are listening to us. And we did that. And a lot of people farmed these characters, and we did a survey, and like a whole bunch of people were like, yes, we've proactively farmed these, because folks in the Discord were saying. So I was like, oh God, please. Like when the Ebon Hawk was released, I was like, no, like, are they for this stupid ship? Like, God, no. I know it's a good ship, but I was just like, oh, we're gonna like, yeah. But yes, so I'm.
There were rumors floating around. I think that was. I wouldn't be surprised if that was information leaked from inside to make some people freak out. Wouldn't surprise me.
I was on the freak out train, I'm not going to lie, but it didn't freak me out enough to go extra hard, because I think I was doing 2 refreshes on Karth every day anyway, and doing the 3 100 crystal refreshes for him since he's been out. So I'm like, I know I'm going to get shards for it, but let's just see how far I get. And I think I wound up like barely missing on 5 stars. I think it was like 10 shards short. But I'm like thinking over how long that event was and how many shards you'd have to spend on energy and refreshes of nodes you actually want to farm to get that ship to 7 stars. I was like, nope, I'll take that gamble, because unless I'm buying like the straight up 12.99 pack for the ship, yeah, I was not going to get it to 7 stars. It was just rough.
I wouldn't worried about getting it to 7 star. I got it to exactly 5 star, and that was because I was doing some extra node refreshes just because I knew I was farming Karth anyway. But no Jedi Knight Revan. Kind of a relief, but not really. I would have preferred that Jedi Knight Revan be a requirement because mine's gear 12.
Yeah,
but,
as I say, because mine's actually geared, not like the other 5.
I bet that's why they did it. Hey, just so
That's
they could,
probably
so Revan couldn't carry the team, right? Because everybody's got him.
He totally would too.
Makes sense. I mean, most of these, the 4 new characters, I mean, I don't have any of them above gear 7, and HK's gear 10. I suspect there are a lot of people like me who are way under geared that are going to have to drop some serious gear to beat the event.
See, okay, so that's the next point on the thing, right? It says it will be. This is a quote from the debut post, but it says it will be a very difficult task to reclaim the Sith throne. So my thought is, okay, this is gonna be a rabbit hole, and we can all talk our individual opinions on this.
I'll dive right in. Let's do it.
All right, so very difficult task. We don't know yet whether this is a journey or a legendary. Most legendaries require a faction to get them, and journeys require specific characters. So I assume it's a journey, right? Well, before Revan came out, Jedi Knight Revan, Capgas said on Reddit that journey events are always geared for gear 9 because the hard part is getting the shards. So if this isn't geared towards gear 9, which is I will totally be ready for, but if it's like Chewbacca at gear 11s, I'm going to be completely screwed. So I don't know. I hope that they haven't completely reinvented the way they do journeys for this, but I have a feeling that the fact that a lot of people are more ahead than normal for journeys at this point for this one, that gear requirement might be the hard part for this one, you know what I mean? Which to me seems like punishing me because I saw what was coming. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think the Gamguard piece had a lot to do with it too. You know, if that was a mistake and that, you know, that would have triggered a lot of people in the community to be like, I better get, kind of light a fire into people. So I'm sure that they went back to the drawing board and were like, okay, so what do we do now? Like, well, what's the only other option, really? I mean, they could have added another character or something at the last minute, but we would have gone crazy over that. I think it's going to be gear. I think you can expect it to be Chewbacca level. And also a lot of the the top 5-7 guilds, they have all of these guys maxed. Everybody has a Zeta on Karth, everybody has them gear 11 and gear 12. So I think they like to give these guys something to do, like make it a little fun for them. So I think they do tend to make those events harder when everybody has them already. Maybe they always do, I don't know.
Well, it depends, right? Like if they thought Jedi Knight Revan's event was difficult, very difficult means like gear 9. That first Revan event was super easy. But we all knew there was going to be some sort of twist, right? We were way too prepared as a community for this Revan. Like just everyone, even prior to the Gamorrean Guard leak, everyone knew or suspected that he was coming. So, see, I think it's going to be very similar to the C-3PO event. Like you need them all gear 11. The luxuries basically you exchange for, like, depending on your level of patience, is how many Zetas you're going to need, right? If you're the type of person that's willing to sit there and play it, 100 times, you might not need these Zetas, and you can get away with gear 11. Like, if you just want to get in and get it done, you're probably going to need a Zeta on Karth. You might need, depending on what these new Zetas are, maybe one on HK, maybe one on Bastila. I'd get your characters to gear 8, gear 9, and then just kind of use SWGOH and take a piece of paper and pen if you have to, and write down the gear you need and just kind of apply it as you need it with the Omegas and all that sort of stuff. Just if you're not going to use the characters, no sense taking them up to gear 11 ahead of time just for it to be like, fairly easy, like, the BB-8 one.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, I guess that's another thing I'm prepared for, because I'm already guessing that since the shards are not the hard part in this one, there's got to be some part to it that's gonna throw a wrench into things to not only make the event fun, but leading up to it, working your way towards it in the sense of, I mean, I already had a sense of accomplishment but it just makes it a little bit more sketchy, I guess, if that's the right word. So it'll be more fun when you get there to see if you can do it, where you're at and what you need to do in the week. More than likely week you have to do it. So yeah,
it's going to be tough. Like I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's going to be tough, but the gear check is the only thing that's going to allow the more serious or pay to play player an edge. If it's super easy, everyone's going to be able to get him, and they're really going to lose any value for future events.
Well, this was my argument that someone brought this up to me earlier today. This is not a pay-to-play character. So there should not be an advantage for pay-to-play on this character. That's my opinion. Because we have all had the time to farm them and farm them up. So at this point, if you are ready, because it wasn't easy to get to this point. I had to do 2 refreshes on 3 characters every day to get here, which is a lot of crystals.
Yeah.
To be prepared. So I'm already ahead of other people for paying just that little bit to do that way. My argument was that there'll probably be a marquee later on that completes the team. That's where the pay to play will get the advantage. But as far as this event goes, yeah, exactly. As far as this event goes, there should not be an advantage for anyone unless they just have it automatically. To me, the advantage comes from planning in the past, not because you spent more money on the game and got it earlier than everyone. That's, to me, should be irrelevant if you planned your way towards this event. But maybe that's just me.
Did you get Jedi Knight Revan the first time around?
I did.
Yeah, I think people hate it when I say this, but it's the only word that I have for it right now. Offer me a different one. I think there's like a category of elite free to play, and these are the folks who have 20, 30,000, 40,000 crystals saved up, and so when they need to respond to something, they can. And that's, that takes a very, very specific sort of player. I don't think that this is just like a free to play character. I think this is an elite free to play character. I yeah. So I have a player in my guild who got the Ebon Hawk at 7 stars, the Millennium Falcon at 7 stars, Jedi Knight Revan. She's gonna get Darth Revan. She's completely free to play. I have like most of those at I have both of those ships at 5 stars, and I'm pay to play. So, it's these people who can just plan ahead. I don't think that certainly not the majority of free to play players in the game are going to get this. Very, very serious ones will, though.
That's certainly true. And I mean, you have to be fishing top of your arena if you don't have a bunch of crystals hoarded back. I mean, it's totally possible. I think I had 10,000 crystals hoarded, and I'm easily going to make it, and I still have 3,000 stashed back, but, I'm able to generally finish pretty high in arena, so it's not much of an issue, but I was able to do that because, I spent a little bit on Revan, and without Revan, I probably wouldn't have been doing that. So the dividends on Revan are still paying off, which is nice. But as far as difficulty of the event, I'm not surprised. I mean, we've seen the other Journey characters that are pretty easy, kind of a walk in the park. They're more about the story.
Which was their intent from the start. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll finish that point in there in a second. I mean, cut you off like I always do.
I'm not surprised at all that they're now changing that to some degree, because originally it was legendary characters, then they introduced journey characters. Now we're going to see journey characters that are more difficult to get before we get to the next thing that'll probably require multiple legendary characters or something to get some sort of other character. It's just going to keep compounding and making it a little bit more in-game. But one thing that they do is, if you want to get the character, you can do it. I suspect at some point that may not be the case, but I mean, as of now, Darth Revan's character, if you want to get him, you can get him. It's just, how many dollar bills you willing to, make it rain with. So, that's kind of the question. But as far as difficulty, I'm not really surprised that they're upping it. We've seen legendary events progressively getting harder. I remember when Thrawn came out, it was unbelievably difficult, and then you had the Chewbacca event, which was quite difficult, then the C-3PO event, which was quite difficult. They keep kind of moving up and up, and especially if they're going to be doing a legendary journey character every 3 months like they've been doing, that wouldn't surprise me at all, because, that's a lot of gear that you can force people into using, especially with, whenever these legendary characters or journey characters are requiring newer characters rather than older characters, like CLS did, for example.
I think the part that annoys me the most is the fact that Capgas went on the forums and on the Reddit and literally told everyone that we gear all journeys on the last journey to gear 9 because getting the shards is the hard part, and then the very next one we're assuming that that's going to change. So if he had never said that, it wouldn't even annoy me. But
yeah,
if that was your plan all along for journeys, and now you suddenly change it right after you told everyone that, what's the deal? So I don't know.
It wouldn't be the first time that happened. You know what I mean?
That is what everybody else counter-argued me today. It's CG. Surprise. I'm like, okay, well, they do they can wave their magic wand whenever they want.
Still to this day, I'm one of those guys with a sore tuchus over the Mother Talzin's only available in this pack. I buy her, and they're like, psych, gotcha. Now she's a hard node. Like, I never would have purchased that character.
Right.
If it wasn't, she was awesome. Mother Talzin, she came out, was fantastic, like meta-defining, game-changing character. So it's like, it's one of the very, very few ones I've gotten. And then like a month later, like, we changed our minds, guys. She's been a hard node. Thank you all so much. Just, I don't know. I should have utilized my refund option there, right? That was, that was dirty. But like, this is no different. I mean, not quite as intense, I guess, but.
Well, also announced in that announcement for Jedi Revan was one thing that didn't surprise us because we already knew, and that was an HK rework, but they also mentioned that they were going to rework some of Bastila, or Bastila Fallen, some of her skills as well. So they're reworking HK, big rework, and the small rework on Bastila. Now that was put out on Wednesday, and today they put out another post, so I want to read to you guys kind of what the things they said about those two characters were. And I'll start with Bastila because it's a smaller little blurb here. But they said the changes to Bastila are fairly minor in comparison to HK47, but are also intended to improve her synergy with Darth Revan team. So basically, she'll have a new unique, and they're adding the fear debuff, which is one that you see in the video for Revan. So they're adding that debuff to her as well as the one that Darth Revan will have. And so minor changes are being made to align her with Darth Revan's release. So they actually they don't constitute a rework in the traditional sense. Man, I can't speak. What's going on here? And then the other part to it is HK47. This is the part that we'll have a little bit of conversation about, I'm sure. But they're changing HK47, and basically his current leader ability is very powerful, and left as is could create some game-breaking teams with just a little synergy. This is primarily due to how early in the game's life cycle this kit was developed and didn't account for all the fun and weird mechanics that we would go on to add to the game. What it doesn't say there is that this Revan team adds that. It almost makes it seem like the leader we've always had could cause that, and we just haven't found it. But I might be reading into that wrong. But they came back with two options. They said currently his leader ability limits the space we have to design new characters or improve existing ones that would synergize with HK47. That leaves us with two choices. Leave him as is and build characters that wouldn't interact with HK47, which would leave him in the dust, or rework his current leader ability along with the rest of his kit. So basically, they think number two is the better option, and that is the one they're going with when they do this whole rework. So they're reworking all of HK47's kit, even his leader, where I don't believe he'll be the leader in the Darth Revan team. So there's just the leader part of HK47 is also getting a change so that in the future, any droids that are introduced will work with him correctly. So when you guys read this, what did you guys think about it? Or what did you think about what you read?
The first thing I thought was, I'm really curious to know if that's a issue caused by the introduction of Darth Revan, or if it's, something with the HK rework. I guess that's, because it's bound to be one of those two things that requires the HK rework on the leader ability, because there might be something now that we haven't found that they have, but who knows?
Well, I think it's going to be just like when they released Crew, right? They slightly tweaked the old Kylo's kit because, if Kylo could crit on that AoE, Kylo would just go over and over and over and over again, right? Like, I think just something in Bastila's kit doesn't, or makes her broken, causes a loop, something like that with Revan's kits. I think it's going to be a minor change. HK, I'm a little... pretty chapped about that one, but that's I don't know.
I'm glad we're in the same boat there.
It's just my entire droid faction is pretty much crit chance based, built for crit chance to kind of flow under HK. Like they're all plug and play under HK leads. So now I've got a dozen characters that pretty much could be useless in my roster. But I tell you what, those that went all in on Grievous just became super valuable. It's kind of like in fantasy football, right? Like you draft Rob Gronkowski or you draft like Travis Kelce pretty high, not because he's going to give you more points than the next guy, but because he's like the best, right? Grievous is the only, tight end now for the droids. Like that's it. That's all you got. His leadership only. So it's not very awesome.
That's a good point.
But
I assume that he's still going to have some kind of droid synergy and be a leader, but we don't. I wonder how effective it will be compared to his old one. And then the other thing I was wondering is that why we have not seen a droid resurgence in the arena since they were last in it? Because they haven't been able to put new droids in that they thought might interact with him and break the droid, his leadership. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I would like to know.
Because we've been waiting a long time for the droids to come back, and Grievous, okay, he's there, but we don't see him in the arena. So I don't know, man. That's just things I think about.
There's too much AOE with the droids now. You got IG-100 that actually has a relevant AOE. It doesn't do damage, but if it crits, it's going to let him go again with that stun, and it dispels all the separatists at the same time. Grievous has an actual AOE now that actually does damage, not just put a debuff on you at the end. Like he's actually got a useful AOE. There's a lot of AOEs, and you put 88 in those two underneath HK, it's just a cycle. Like they never stop going.
And then the separatist droids. I mean, you have like Droid Echo who can assist. You have General Grievous with an AOE who also has other ways of gaining turn meter. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can go into it for sure.
If they're going to rework HK, they need to rework B1, because B1's kit clearly was written and released to not, because I mean he'd go constantly if he could crit. Now, why can't he crit now? Let him crit now. Like you can't have him underneath HK.
That's a good point.
Like his kits, I mean, you read it and you're like, well, they developed this way because he can't crit because it break HK. That'd be broken as hell if B1 just he'd go so many times. You'd never be able to get those stacks off him. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
It's just like it never. Yeah,
oh,
just have 800 stacks.
Urzatron made a nice point in chat. Lobot, GOAT of the droid leaders.
True.
Might be for real now. Like your boy's about to get a lot better there, Urza. So it's interesting.
Here's an interesting question. So we know that the Revan meta is coming. That it's continuing. It's just going to be a darker side of Revan. How long do you expect this to last? I mean, and what do you think will end it? Will it be a different legendary character that ends it? Will it be maybe another raid character or a raid? There have been speculations about a new territory battle map based on the the new changes to platoons. You guys have any predictions as far as that goes?
I mean, I think that I'm assuming that Darth Revan is going to be usable in Arena. I mean, I think all of us are assuming that. I think it's very strange to have a Revan versus Revan meta in Arena. So I'm wondering, somebody made the point, I'm sorry, I can't remember who in my guild made the point that perhaps Darth Revan beats Jedi Knight Revan quite easily, and then perhaps Grievous or another team can beat Darth Revan quite easily. So there's going to be a lot more movement in Arena, people going up and down the ranks quite a bit more than is happening now already, with everybody with Jedi Knight Revan. Darth Revan will hold, except for the more advanced players or players who have gotten Grievous specifically, something like that. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating, is they're going to do some. I love it when they do that. I think whenever they make like a rock scissors paper meta, I mean, how would you even think that out? It's just, I mean, to me, it's, I guess part of it's power creep, but part of it's just kind of freaking genius. Like there's no way I could imagine how to balance Arena. So yeah, and I think it'll last 4 months, a good 4 months.
We did have some paper rock scissors going a couple months ago, and then people just got so good at modding these Revan teams that nothing else could compete. And I think that's the advantage of changing the meta, is people don't exactly know how to mod them. So when we get into that change, it's going to take a couple months before it really balances out into being the optimal team, and that'll probably allow for some other teams to come in.
Did you guys talk about that last week?
Jedi Revan came out? No, but I remember when Jedi Knight Revan first came out and people were complaining like, oh, he's not that great, and they were wondering how good he was actually going to be, if he was actually going to take out Traya. And fast forward to 6 months, and we're sick and tired of it.
Yeah, I remember I was freaked out because GoodOl'Maurice and I had spent like literally hundreds of battles in the test account, and then everyone was like, this character sucks. And we're like, oh no, like we're hyping him up so bad. And I was like, oh no.
When he first came out, you could beat them with HK-47 and T3, like when they first came out, because no one knew how to mod them. We're in there beating them with Ewoks and beating them with droids. Like, oh, this team sucks. Yeah, I don't see any of those teams in the arena. It's just Revan from 1 to 50 on my leaderboard. Everybody.
My question was though, did you guys discuss the fact that it has that that defense and offense piece within Darth Revan's kit in your last podcast? I don't know.
We have not discussed that. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, well, way to
So what you're
spoil.
referring to
Spoiler alert.
is there was something that popped up, and there is basically a buff that Darth Revan is going to have that he sacrifices defense to get more offense. Do you remember the name of the ability or the buff?
I think it might have been his unique. Like, I think that it was. I'll go find it, but I think it's his unique. That it's just basically, it sounds like all of those defense primaries that are in your, sitting there with some speed on them, maybe on Hermit Yoda or somebody like that. They might all of a sudden have a purpose, but I'll go find the exact wording here. I know where it is.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Ferocity. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Cyberpunk. Ferocity, that's what it was.
It is. Sorry, my bad.
Defense on Revan, I mean, it could be the more defense he has, the higher offense he has. So it's going to be much like Grievous, where you want to mod him for health, not offense, because his damage is derived from health. Dark Revan's damage could, probably not all of it, but it could have, kind of like First Order Executioner, he gets a bonus based on his max health. Perhaps, the more defense Dark Side Revan has, the harder it will hit. It's going to be a trend. It's going to happen. This is the way they're going to go with it. Is you're going to need all the mods with all the stats. It's getting that way. Because general rule of thumb is speed offense, crit chance, speed offense, maybe a little bit of tenacity, speed, offense. No one ever says defense. So defense are just throwaway mods. You've been thrown away for so long that now that you need them, you're going to panic and start, maybe refreshing the mod store a couple more times and looking for those defense sets. Defense primaries, stuff like that. So you're gonna have to have everything in this game.
Yeah.
I think defense is also much less understood than speed and offense. That's a little bit more straightforward. But I think that just kind of makes people not care about it quite so much.
We'll see. That's total speculation. I don't know. I'm excited. It's anything that's going to shake up this Revan on Revan action. Well, Jedi Knight Revan on Jedi Knight Revan action is anticipated. I'm looking forward to it.
One last thing from the Revan announcements. They posted a promo video today, Friday, March 15th. It's pretty awesome. I had it playing here on the live stream here for a little while there while we were talking. So you've already seen it if you're watching the live stream. But the funny thing is they posted the wrong video at first. And the video actually had the date March 21st on it when it first came out. They later went out and deleted that video, put the new one up without the date in it, and then went on to say that they showed a date of March 21st. They said this could be the date, but they don't want to set expectations while they are still finalizing details of the event. So odds are it's March 21st, but right now it's in limbo. But I would still guess it's still March 21st. I don't know. It just seems with the dates on the packs and everything else, the way they've been released compared to last journeys in the past, seems like that March 21st date is probably correct. So I'm not quite sure why they.
Well, that's what they want, but Carrie was posting on Reddit and stuff and kind of mentioned that, the possibility if something comes up and delaying it 1 to 2 weeks. It sounds, just reading the tea leaves, it kind of sounds like there could be something going on that might be a concern that may delay it even further. And,
we still haven't seen HK's rework, and I thought we were going to see that at the beginning of this week. So we haven't seen that rework yet. They're probably, and with what it sounded like with the character changes post they made tonight,
That's probably
they might
part
not
of it.
even be totally ready for that HK rework. So that could also be part of how that release date is being set. So who knows? How about anyone have any other Darth Revan-ish things to say?
Nope.
All right. All right. I take that silence as a no. Let's move into the quality of life update from this week. I don't want to take all our time talking about it. I want to mention some of the things in it and see where you guys are on them. As far as the combat buff UI overhaul, how are you guys feeling about that? So basically, if you don't know, they took when all those buffs over people's head are there. It used to be fill the screen. If the guy's on the back line, you couldn't tell if he had taunt or foresight or what. So they've condensed it down to only show 3, and then it has numbers next to a color saying how many debuffs they have, how many unique buffs they have, how many buffs they have, and then you can click on those things and it'll bring up a screen and tell you what those are. They also made the debuff icons a little bit smaller. I don't know, like, if you were to go percentage, I would say they're like 25% smaller. That's my guess, because they don't seem that much smaller, but you can tell they're smaller. I don't know. Have you guys played around with this a lot? I mean, if you've played the game in the last 2 days, you probably have. So what do you guys think of it?
I think there's a couple of complaints about people who have iPhones with smaller screens, older iPhones with smaller screens, that the icons are very, very small, especially in the raid, especially in P1 of the raid. So there's some concerns there. For me, I like it. I like them being smaller. I think they've done a really good job choosing which buffs come up. You can assume if there's three buffs over Grandmaster Yoda's head and then a number 12 that he's like, okay, he's got lots of buffs, let's spread them, sort of thing. It's not that big of a deal. But in the raids, it looks like P1 might be a little bit of a problem. They might have to have a little tweak there. So
yeah, that one is kind of pulled out, I'm with you. With you, Maurice. It is new, and I think that people, once they get used to it, probably won't be such an issue.
Yeah,
but
well, I thought I'd really like this part of it, and I opened it up and was like, it's just like, I don't know what's going on. It's just like, I don't know. Those icons are small. I'm actually not using, like Mike J in your chat. I'm actually showing all the smaller buffs. I'm not using the toggle. That will take time for me to get used to, because you start throwing like red arrow up for all sorts of new stuff. I gotta slowly break myself in. It's good. It's good.
Hopefully the new meta will pull all those, so there's not as many buffs and debuffs, and then maybe we don't have to use it at all. But for now, because I feel like I don't even really want to use it, because it's just so confusing right now after almost 3 years. So, but I mean, it's a cool thing to me. And as far as the smaller icons thing goes, for me, I'm one of those guys that when I get a phone, I go in and I set like the original phone settings on text to the smallest it can be, and even then it's not small enough for me. I like everything to be tiny. So if they had released it even 25% more, I probably would have been totally fine with it. But I can see people, and I'm nearsighted. So, farsighted? I can see near and not far. I don't know what that is, but everything up to my face I can see perfectly fine. So for people with eyesight problems, that might be an issue if you played the game without glasses before, and 25% smaller debuffs make you have to wear glasses. I don't know, but overall I think it was a pretty good change, at least from my playing.
I like it. I would like to see them add another row. So like whenever you do the compressed buffs and debuffs thing, so you have the 3 buffs, and then it would be nice if you could have 3 more on the top. Just have a small rectangle of 6, and then have the other deals. Because I find that 3 is not quite enough to get through the primary stuff. Like there's certain stuff you have to know about. There's foresight, retribution, taunt, Grandmaster's training. There are certain things that I want to be able to see all the time, because it impacts every single decision that you make. So that's the reason I am not currently using it. Now, when we get away from, 1,000 buffs on every character all the time, I may go to the more compressed version, but yeah, I definitely love the smaller icons. They are amazing. I do have the larger iPhone though, so that certainly helps. And I'm kind of like you. I like everything as small as possible on my phone. So yeah.
The other thing here, so moving a little bit past there, unique only toggle for save squads and mod loadouts. So there's actually a button now you can hit that'll tell you if a person or a mod is in more than one squad or loadout. So that was a nice change that no one saw coming. So
Absolutely. So excited about that one.
I just wanted the squad loadouts for months. It's all I've been asking for. Let us access squad loadouts because it never fails. Whenever I want to work on my squad loadouts, I'm out of energy across the board.
Yeah.
I've got no arena battles left. Galactic War has been simmed, and I have no way to build it. I have to spend 50 crystals to refresh my light side, just so I can work on my squad loadouts. So this is awesome, and that's unique.
When you do your squad loadouts.
Say what?
When there's nothing else to do, you do your.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Your squad loadouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or in between arena battles and stuff, and
that unique box was a godsend. That thing is gonna be awesome. It's so good. That was a bonus. That's gonna be great.
Yep.
Let's see. Save squad shortcut. We just talked about that. Cantina. I don't understand this one really. I guess I haven't played with it really. Cantina home raid icon. The active raid icon in the Cantina now takes you directly to the raid overview screen. So I guess it just takes you to that raid that's showing instead of taking you to just all the raids. Is that what it is? This is one that never bugged me, so I didn't know.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I didn't even know that was part of it.
Yeah, so I guess if the raid shows a Sith raid icon now in the bottom left, if you click that, it'll take you straight to the Sith raid and not just the raid screen.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's great. So you don't. It doesn't take you to the guild area. It takes you right into the raid area.
Yes.
Is that what? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, it's just lots of anything that saves a click, I guess, is good. Have you guys looked at the the gear? If you just click on a character, if you hit the plus sign, they minimize the you don't have to.
Gear screen's awesome.
Say again.
One thing that's even better.
The gear screen's awesome
is reading abilities.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that squatty little ability box that you have to scroll in. It's like a big, huge box that you can actually read. So nice.
It's the funniest part about that is the way I tested that was I opened up Revan's leadership, and you still had to scroll 2 screens to see the whole thing. Everything else looks great. Revan's leadership still a lot of scrolling to go, but everything else almost all fits in the screen. So getting that check mark out of there, that was perfect. This is another one that I did not see coming that I really, really like. The pre-battle screen info. This is one that always bugged me because if you had a preloaded team in the team screen, you didn't see their gear level. All you saw was their stars and the picture of who they were. But now you got their name and their gear level as well as the stars in the pictures. So anytime you are picking a team for anything, and they're dropped in there, you can see what gear level they are. I thought that was awesome.
It might also teach me how to spell Asajj.
Yeah. The names are definitely there. What's the longest name in the game? Because I'm curious if we could throw that in there just to see if it doesn't fit.
Oh,
God. Yeah, he might be one.
That's pretty, maybe.
But they could literally cut his name in half and I wouldn't know. So.
All right, I'm going with Garazeb /Zeb. Or really, that's probably going to be the longest one in the game.
Good one, yeah. Aurora is probably not very long. It's only
pretty long.
12.
So. Just get curious. It does. It squeezes it down and fits it all onto one line.
Oh, very crazy. Yeah, I'm glad to see the gears on there.
About this, though, for me,
Sorry.
Hello.
Go ahead, man. We got you. You're still here.
Oh. I think my internet's being terrible.
Surprise!
My favorite thing about this, though, is...
Bingo.
Yeah. I have 2 clones that are Gear 12. You would not believe the number of times that I have intended to go into a Grand Arena battle with Rex lead and gone in with a 5s lead and been like, what the hell's going on? That has happened way more times than it should, but never again.
So you prefer 5s lead over Cody lead? Is that what I'm hearing? It's interesting.
Here's a way to fix.
I've
Here's a way
never
to fix
used
that.
Cody.
Here's a way to fix that. Even better. Another quality of life change that was added. There's now a leader sortable place, so you can sort by leaders. So if you want to figure out who has leaders in the game and who doesn't, there's a leader
my
tab.
goodness.
God, is there? You guys,
Oh,
I'm just like,
there
Yeah,
is.
sure enough.
I'm
the-
hanging
the
on your
third
every
box.
word.
Oh,
Damn.
gracious.
Oh my, what? Where is it?
Right there.
Leader.
box number
Oh
3,
my
yeah.
God. Thank God. That's so good.
Learn something every time I come on with you guys. This is awesome.
Happy to help you guys here. But yeah, that's an awesome thing to sort by, right? Because
More
half the time you get down
Yeah.
you get down to the bottom half of a group and you wonder if you have a decent leadership left. You can sort by that, or just whatever you decide to do with it. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, you start
Here's
straight to
the
the bottom of the
question.
barrel in Grand Arena. It'd be helpful. Like, who's
Yeah,
left?
exactly. Yeah, who do I have left that could even do anything?
Trivia question. How many leader abilities are there in SWGOH?
Well, seeing as I have it open here, let me tell you. Just
Yeah, do you have the answer? Because I don't.
Cheater!
It's a lot. You-
59,
crazy.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
there's
guess.
what, 160 characters?
Maybe
Is that
more.
where we're at now? Somewhere
Maybe
around there?
85.
It looks like
I-
9.5 rows.
Can I make the point that when you're in the squad builder and you check unique, it doesn't show any of the leaders that you've already used either when you go to like make another squad. So how wonderful is that? For like 3v3? Oh, that's such a nightmare going back and forth.
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to have to go back there and rebuild all my teams, but there are 73 leader abilities in this game.
Hey, that was the number of my destroyer in the Navy. Random fact.
Nice. Very nice.
I love that number. Here's a funny thing from chat. Joker's listing out long names from the game. Is First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot. Is Special Forces written out in his name? Or they drop it to SF? Because if that's his old name, that's a long name.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Better than Smoke with Chewbacca. That Joker just typed. That one might be the winner. That's a lot.
Yeah. Here, okay, let me bring up a quality of life one I don't like. I'll tell you why. Node simming slider. And it's not for the reason I'm sure Wink's going to roll his eyes at me for. A lot of people don't like this because they like to pop it to 3 and keep going from there. And if they hit sim by accident, they're not simming 20 instead of 1. The reason I don't like it is because a lot of the time when I'm simming a small amount, it's for really crappy gear that I need to sim 3 times just to get one of. And I today simmed 20 times to get a green item, and I got at least 9 of them, so I'm good for those for a while. But
Yeah.
the mod
were 50
simming
crystals.
slider starting at 20 instead of 10 at 1. Not something I needed. I liked it much better at 1. I don't know where you guys are at, but I liked it better at 1. I can slide it to 20.
Love
it's
this
not that
change.
hard.
Love this change so much. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I like this. I mean, you make a good point. I hadn't even thought about it from that perspective. But most of the complaining about it is we all know that simming in groups of 3 is better. No, it's not.
Yes,
It's really not
yes,
at
it
all.
is. Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not. These are the same people that if you hit their foot with like a broom, they freak out and spit on it. They do like a song and dance.
My gypsy told me,
Like-
shut your face.
No,
I
it is.
okay.
It's the exact same.
I don't
Those
know
are
if I
people that
I
know
don't
math.
I
It's the
don't believe
exact
the
same.
numbers, but I still do it. Like I'll still do 3s and 8s and random numbers just because I don't
thing
care.
is,
I'll just do whatever I
reason
want.
that
If you
The
do it
reason
just
people-
because
it doesn't
that's
work
fine.
for
If
people-
you do it in 3s, go ahead. Sorry.
So, I was just gonna say the reason it doesn't work for people is you have to feel the vibe of the particular note.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
necessarily 3s and 4s that are gonna work on that particular note. It could be a 7. It could be a 20. You got to figure that out, and it will change over time too.
Do you know what that's called?
My
We
gypsy
call
told me.
that randomness.
But it does
Listen.
have a little.
And that's why you just sim all of them.
I
It
can't
does
wear
have an element
blue.
of
I
fun.
just do
There-
these now.
I cannot wear blue
But
on days
it
the
is-
Lions play. So that'll just tell you everything you need to know about me. Every time I wear blue,
And
they lose,
people
but
are
they always lose anyway.
superstitious.
So it's a blue thing. I cannot wear
That's
blue. When I don't do it, they win. Don't wear blue anymore.
Yeah.
I would think with such a sound strategy, they would have a Super Bowl recently. Or a playoff win recently. Or made the playoffs recently.
Who's your coach now? Is it still Rodgers?
Probably. What's the
Yeah.
matter?
Unfortunately, my Odell Beckham Jr. jersey won't arrive until next week. So it's exciting.
Oh,
It's
no.
exciting.
I'm thinking about ordering a Baker jersey, so I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It'll be the first time in the history of the world anybody's ordering a Cleveland jersey that lives outside of the city limits. It was great.
So
That is no
as
kidding.
far, I'm just gonna keep going here for T-Money's sake. Leader slot default. When a squad auto-populates in the pre-battle screen, if there's no save squad in memory, it defaults to putting a leader in the leader spot. Hey, no longer
more
will I
chart
go into battle and have, oh gosh, who is it? One of my teams always puts, who the heck is it? I can't think of the
Ezra?
team. That might be one of them. Yeah, for sure. That's not the one I'm thinking of, but that is a very good example where, like, every time it puts a DPS in the leader slot and then the leader in the second slot, and it's like, just because he's geared more doesn't mean I think he's a leadership material here, okay?
Well-
So,
The worst is territory battle on the Phoenix one. It's like they have one bloody leader. Like, just put her there. I hate having to go through and redo that team every time I do that mission. It's awful.
Rogue One's the same, right? It's just Chin.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
Stop.
exactly.
That's the one I was thinking of because it always puts Churret in the spot. And I'm like, this dude is blind. He's not leading anyone. Put him to the side. You know, we got to get Jin in there. I know Churret's got some abilities, but he's not my battle leader. All right. So, yeah.
You might get some letters after that one.
Yeah, that I after I said it and I couldn't pull it back into my mouth, so I just kept going. No reason to
I didn't
stop
want
now.
you to. Just, just giving you a heads up.
Well, I'll go ahead and say it.
Speak.
Fortunately,
Mouth.
anyone who's going to argue about that doesn't know what Dan looks like, so you don't need to be worried about it. Bad joke.
Oh wow,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Where we going?
Things are just clicking in my head. Here's one that I didn't know I needed and don't really care for. Reward screen now center justifies all items. Rewards for events have not changed but will be displayed differently. Okay. I mean, it's just a thing that's there. It happened. Okay, this is totally off topic. Do you guys run alts at all? Or use Android?
Ish, yeah. I mean, I have a ticket alt, and then there's another alt that will pull into the guild so we don't go in short to territory wars. It's like 3.4 million.
Okay, so if you're playing on an Android, and this will affect me when I'm at work because I play on my work phone at work, and it's an Android, but there used to be a button that said sign out. You could just click it right then, and then you could sign into another account. Now they've moved the sign out button. It's now under connect, and they like to take away clicks, but now there's like 3 clicks. Yeah, it's
Two
like,
clicks.
stop
Screw
making me
that.
click twice. My
2
fingers
clicks.
already hurt thinking
I
about it.
know.
So
Blister.
that's a shout out to Elon. I know that that one was bugging him. So, as far as then they describe all the packs for the event and a whole bunch of bug fixes. I looked through these, and there's a bunch of stuff that will be better, but nothing really that I really felt needed to be mentioned. I don't know if you guys saw anything, but it is really a long wall of text, so you let me know if you see something. Okay, they didn't see anything. So next thing.
Yeah. Move along.
All right, we got the podcast poll. That's what we got next. Now that we've gone over all that info, let's talk about what people thought about what we got. So.
Since everyone loves a good poll, let's dance through the results and see what you thought this week.
I always feel like incredibly inferior to whoever that is. I'm just like, oh. Yeah, it's just very pretty lady.
So, there was something you said last time you were on the show, and I keep planning on going back and cutting it to use it on something. I just haven't done it. I promise you, by the next time you guys come on, I will have something that has you in it. So don't you worry.
Oh boy.
And yes, you should probably be concerned.
Yeah, I
I'll
am.
be scared.
All right. So, onto the poll.
All right, for everyone that's watching the live stream, I took your feedback last week. I am live updating the podcast results as I scroll through them on the live stream, so you will see everything that I am seeing as we talk about it. So we'll just see how this goes this time around. If it does not work, then we won't do it again. But for now, we're doing it. First question. We have had a day or so with the quality of life changes going live. What do you think on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst? We have... Anyone have a guess? It follows the normal curve that we talk about on this podcast. So I know, Wink, you know. What do you think?
Well, I know too, because I
hold
can see
up?
the graph.
4.2. No, 4.2.
Same
guess.
bell
I'll
curve
guess
as
wrong.
always.
Yeah.
4 has the most votes. 4 has the most votes at 38.9%. 5 has the second most votes at 34%, and then 3 has the third most votes at 24%. And then it drops off with just a measly 6 votes for 1 and 2. So a lot of people liking it. Some are saying it's about average, but really right in that 4 range, as most things we've asked people to rate are. So I am not surprised by these results. If you 3 were to throw out a number 1 through 5 on what you think so far, maybe not your final vote, but what do you guys think so far?
I give it 5. I'm so surprised they even do this for us. I'm like, oh, thank you. All right,
Right.
you know, like, it's nice.
I'm going to give it a 4.
I can't give it a 5.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead. I was saying, the reason I can't give it a 5 is because we've had previous quality of life updates like Mods 2.0.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4. It could
And
go
the
to
Like
5.
It 470.
Sorry, man. I cut you off.
You got to give it a 4 because what?
I said I'll give it a 4 just because of we really need to see how the Rancor simming works. It could go to a 5. You know, I'm kind of unsure about that element of it.
A lot of gifts. I'll actually give like a little public service announcement right now. When you go to sim your first Rancor raid, you have to check the times because we set it to 12 hours by accident, and another guild had it. It was just defaulted to 1 hour, so nobody could sign up for it. So go and check what the sign up is before you actually go and schedule it, because it's not everything reset, including whatever sign up time you preferred.
Gotcha. That's good to know. And I know there's been a lot of people with questions about this because when it came out, a lot of people were showing that they were not even eligible to do it. What do you mean we have 0 7-star raid Hans?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, we had
So-
like 35 out
Not
of 50.
happy.
I'm like,
Yeah.
pretty sure
So-
he's got raid on.
I'm sure that's been fixed by the time you're watching this, or especially by the time that you are listening to the podcast. But if people had to log in to update that, and once it was updated by all the people logging in, good to go. But I say I'll give it a 4 as well, because there's a few things in there that I'm not totally keen on, but overall I'm with you, T. The fact that they listen to the feedback and make changes on those things and spend the time to develop those things is a really good thing for this game. And the funny thing is, some of these things that we weren't talked about on the road ahead, and we didn't know until the quality of life came out. Our main topic, we're going to talk about quality of life again, kind of things that I'm going to ask you guys of some things and see if you guys say yay or nay on something you'd like to have in the game. But I was looking through topics on Reddit, and some of the topics that were just posted within the last 10 days were in this update. So I don't know if it took them longer to build it, or if these things influenced it before this one because they were easy. I don't know what, but they do listen to the community and they do work on quality of life for people, what people like. So it is very, very cool in that way to me. So next question was, what quality of life change do you find to make your life easiest? And the number one answer was the combat buff UI overhaul with 86 votes. Was that your guys' favorite thing?
Not surprising at all. Yes. No, it wasn't my favorite thing, but it was the most needed thing.
Excuse me. It did make it the easiest, as the question asks. The next 3 answers were pretty close here. You had the better gear find flow, which I find awesome because now you can look up and find whole pieces instead of just having to look for the prototypes.
Yeah.
There's just a way to find everything you want, and it works out really well. And it'll really make it extra hard to buy a Gear 4 full stun gun instead of the Gear 5. So anything that
Guilty.
Done it. Hate it. So that was the second one. The third one was user interface changes like save squads. I know that was a big one. And I think we talked about that last quality of life. I think that was one I mentioned where it's like, you shouldn't have to use energy to get to this, but it makes sense. And then the fourth place was raid simming. And because I like to mention the last place ones, the last place one was the reward screen center justifications. 3 people said that makes their life the easiest. So for those 3 people, it really doesn't affect everyone else, but for you 3, I'm really glad you guys got that. Really stoked for you guys.
Can I say to that though, and maybe this is what you were just referring to, but I think one of my favorite changes for this is the center screen with the double panels, and then it shows all of the gear expanded. So for the Gear 12 gear, like I'm constantly like clicking on it and then what's that one again and what's that one, and like having to expand it all, but it just expands all of those right there. I like that a lot. Sorry, I promise that's the most boring thing I'll say tonight.
I had looked off screen and I came back and I'm like, someone else will comment. No one comments. Okay, all right. Well, there we go.
I was in the middle of a yawn, or I would have said something.
Oh, mark your bingo cards.
Not, prompted by my.
Yeah,
No,
literally, it was not,
it's
because it
prompted
does it
by midnight.
all the time. It's midnight? What? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so along with the collapsible buffs, the icons themselves became a little smaller. Does this affect you? And I put 3 answers on this question. This was added after the fact. I added this one after the rest of them were Frostvirus, but this one was me because I saw a conversation about this and I wanted to know what people thought. The answers I put were, I need reading glasses now to see them. I like that they are smaller, and big, small makes no difference to me. I just wish Bastila would dispel through foresight. So pretty much dead even between makes no difference to me and I like them smaller. So 42% for both of those, and then 17% of people think they're too small for them. So it affects a small amount of people, but we will not acknowledge that it does affect people. So there you go. Raid simming. What do you think of the rewards? Now, we haven't really talked about this. Raid rewards were announced for simmed rewards, and it is a certain amount of guild tokens. I think it's like 980, something like that. There's some credits there. You get there's one other thing before the gear.
Credits.
You get 10 Han
storage,
Solo shards.
gearbox,
That's what it is.
And solo shards.
Yeah, 10 Han Solo shards, which actually is a pretty good amount for the for a sim. And then you get a box that's equal to the ranks 11 to 15. So everyone's going to get a box that's rank 11 to 15. Now,
Okay with that.
that's what prompted this question, because obviously simming every Rancor raid, no one's going to be getting anything between 1 and 10. Now, if everyone got rank 1 rewards, that would be, I mean, it wouldn't be out of control because everyone can do the raid, but I guess rank 10 is about the sweet spot for where it's good for everyone that would be lower and not so much worse off for the everyone that was in the top 10, because you got to think a 10 to 15 box is covering 40 other ranks of people in your guild. The only one that's really holding back are the 10 people of the 35 doing a Rancor solo that would hopefully get themselves in the top 10. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with these rewards. How about you guys?
I think I'm gonna
We'll
have to
see.
think about it.
Yeah, in the guild, we're going to sim one and then see what everybody thinks. Then we're going to vote. Is this something we want to do or not? Because while it's going to be helpful to 40, it's really kind of penalizing. Like, we had a Rancor last night. I think 9 people participated. Like, it's really kind of penalizing, the guildmates that, are setting alarms, really striving for top spots, taking the time, it actually hitting, like playing the Rancor. So it's interesting. We'll have to see.
For us, we do a bit of an unusual thing. We cycle everybody through for first, like 1, 2, and 3 rewards. So someone will just hit it for whatever, like a couple hundred, a couple thousand, and then someone will solo the rest. So every few weeks, you're guaranteed to get one of the top 3 spots. So I just have to do the math to see, because the top 3 spots, you get nice stuff, and the rest of the rest of the spots, you don't. And so I just have to see like what the difference is going to be really over the long term for the shard shop and gear, to see like what the kind of overall guild is going to get more of. So it'll probably come down to guild store currency. Actually, that'll probably be the make or break right there.
Mm-hmm.
So on average, and again, this, to be very clear, this is average. Most people don't understand how averages work, but if you add up all the currency that is given out in a raid divided by the number of people, the average number of guild store currency goes from 761 currency up to 830. So on average, you will be getting 69. Great number. 69 more currency every raid. So that is very important.
Okay.
I will certainly take
More 69
more currency.
coins.
Yes, please.
More 69, please.
I'm curious if anyone in the chat would like less.
I was gonna go there, but then I decided not to. But then you went there, so thank you.
I went there for the
then
sound.
I giggled like a
the
little
sound.
boy about 69 joke.
Is this good time for my planned joke?
Yes, do it. I am so red right now. Oh, I'm loving it. All right. Woo-wee. All right. So, anyways, the answers people gave for the raid rewards. God, I can't help. Man, I'm so red. All right. 37% of people said, I work hard for my top tier rewards. Don't bring me down. 31% of people said, protect the Rancors, bring on the simming. And the next highest slice was 30% saying, I make sure I join, but don't put in the time for placement. I am happy with the new baseline rewards. Other answers are my guild has not met the requirements yet, but I can't wait for simming. And my guild has not met the requirements yet, but I don't think we will be simming when we have. Those are very small chunks there on the pie, and it seems like it's pretty even all across the board on let's do it, let's not do it, and I don't care. So
Well,
really
that's
close on
like
all those.
presumptuous of those that can't solo the Rancor yet, but are assuming that they won't, like share the rewards.
My assumption is those people are not tired of it yet.
Yeah, like that's what I'm
But
saying.
you
Like,
get-
hey,
You get
wait
to this
stuff
point,
for 8
and
months.
you're gonna be tired. So,
It's
Wink,
fun
why don't
if
you
you
cover
only
this
do it,
next
like,
one?
once every month. It's like well.
yeah,
I always like rub it in the face. Angel, if you're in chat, 2-time champion of the Rancor, eat it. It's all right. Just laugh politely. At least
Hey.
laugh politely. At least laugh politely.
Is that polite or I'm not sure.
Oh, are you
When we go
blushing now?
for context, what challenge? No details.
You cut out, man. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I cut it. Wow. Are you telling me my internet sucks?
Everybody placed their marker on the bingo board. Internet issues.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, internet freaking awful. All right, next question. If you can hear me, without a puzzle or anything crazy, Darth Revan was casually announced. Are you still excited, or has the constant expectation of the announcement worn your excitement out? We had 190 responses, and this was actually pretty even across the board. The lowest one was is 1 to 5 scale. Lowest one was 3 with 16%. Then 2 with 17%. The others were just a smidgen above 20. So, pretty even. Just kind of odd. What'd y'all think? Anything?
Well, I mean, anybody that took this poll, right, on your poll here, like they listen to you guys. They watch YouTube, they watch Twitch, they read the forums. They knew Darth Revan was coming, right? Like the people that took this poll.
That's true.
So, I mean, I don't know. Was I shocked? No, absolutely not. Did the announcement of it being very difficult frighten me a little bit? Maybe. I mean, we'll see how tough it is. That was an extra little. Well, you guys got us one time, but here we'll do this now instead. I'm so excited for it. I mean, just because I knew about something doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. I'm just excited. I'm actually excited to know that he is coming, and we weren't like misleading the people that watch our show, right? Like, yeah, guys,
no
Darth
kidding.
Revan.
We were
Oh,
all in.
sorry.
We were all in
Sorry,
on that.
guys. Yeah, all about those
That
7-star
would have been the
ordos.
worst.
Putting
Sorry.
out like energy farms, like
You
instructions
shills.
for our patrons. It's like,
Why would you shill that?
Everyone
Why are
needs
you
to be
shilling Darth
refreshing
Revan?
those. Yes.
I'm back. Before the
All right.
question, man, I'm impressed. All right, next question we've got. What is the reason that you are most excited for Darth Revan? Answers are excited for the culmination of the KOTOR story, love Darth Revan. Something else new that will keep me at the top of my arena shard. New meta, Jedi Revan is stale and I dislike when matches go to time. Excited for the culmination of the KOTOR story, ready to move on to something else or other. And then there's an option to write in the other. But I don't think we need to read what the write-ins are because I think 90% of the write-ins were I am not excited. So we can pretty much guess that most of the others are not excited. But
Not excited and sick of KOTOR content.
yes, which I thought was kind of the green one here, which that's what I voted for. But almost a dead heat between new meta, Jedi Revan is just stale and I dislike it when matches go to time, 30% there, and then another 30% for excited for the culmination of the KOTOR story, ready to move on to something else. So that's where you got there. The other ones break down to other and excited for the culmination of the KOTOR story. Love Darth Revan. Those are both around 14%. And then the smallest number was something else new that will keep me at the top of my arena shard. That's 11%. So I don't think that's too surprising with those things. I know that if you combined the ready to move on to something else and the other, half the other, that would be the overwhelming majority there. And it would make sense to me because the biggest sentiment I get from people that aren't KOTOR players is, please make KOTOR go away. I am tired of KOTOR because I don't know these characters. I don't care about these characters. I want to play the Star Wars characters I know and love. And we've been playing KOTOR characters for well over a year. So it makes sense to me that that would be the highest.
Is Darth Treya KOTOR?
Yes.
Yeah.
KOTOR 2, I think,
Oh,
right?
God.
So.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah, the year of KOTOR. Good God.
It's cool, but it's
Alright.
done. No more, please. No more KOTOR.
Well, Malik, who knows?
Yeah, if
Oh, yeah,
Malik
yeah,
comes,
yeah.
then we're still
Supposed to
going.
be the big boss. I mean, maybe we'll
Oh,
have
I'm sure
we
they
can't
can
have a
keep
raid.
going.
We can't have a raid. I think for my guild, it's a little bit, we're in a little bit of an interesting situation because one of the things that we do really well is get characters ahead of time. So we had like 45 Darth Revan, most in our GP had around 20-25. But I checked kind of a little bit before Gamorrean Guard came out, and I was like, oh, we're so ahead of everyone. This is going to be great. We're going to be like right up there with, we'll have 50, really. Like we're shooting for 50. And then I checked last week, and I was like, oh, everybody's caught up to us. Like all of the TW focus guilds have all caught up to us. So it takes away that advantage for us that I like to give the guild. So it's, I don't know, I'm a little bit, I got my nose out of joint a little bit that it took them this long, because you're right. When you were saying before, Wink, that, or who was saying, I think GoodNightPunk was saying that, they've taken the advantage away from people who plan ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. For sure.
Indeed.
I feel like someone was going to
alright.
talk, so I went quiet. Go ahead with the next one, dude.
Do you expect to unlock Darth Revan? 38% said yes. That was by far the biggest chunk of the pie. 25% said not this time, but next time. And 18% said all at 7-star, but depends on how difficult, very difficult it is.
That's the one I put.
Yep.
I'm waiting to see what that very difficult means.
That come hell or high water, I am unlocking him because I've got the shards. How much
That's
secure that takes,
literally
I don't know.
literally what I was about to say. If I worked all this time for those shards, you damn well better believe that I will unlock
Yeah.
Darth Revan.
Well, you guys need to snapshot these answers, and then you need to re-ask this question on like day 5. Because a lot of people are like, I'm not gonna do that, and then they're gonna see how good he is, like psych, and they're gonna be in the shipments buying stun cuffs, buying stun guns, buying carbones, just going nuts, gearing these characters. We'll see.
Well,
people tend to fib a little bit,
Well, okay.
in these
Let
games.
me. I can't talk crap about people because, gosh, I don't remember what happened, and I said I was never buying a $10
Oh, me
pack
too.
again.
100%, yeah.
I'm like, I'm never buying those $10 packs again. After something happened, I can't remember what it was, but oh no, it was Badstilla when she came out, and I'm like, she's gonna totally destroy Revan. We just got Revan, Now she's making Treya be able to destroy Revan. This is totally pointless.
I remember that.
I went
You
on
were
a
very pissed.
tirade, and that didn't happen, obviously. But I was like, I'm never buying a $10 pack again. And then those two, Badstilla and Ordo, came out, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure Darth Revan's coming at that point when the marquees came out. And I'm like, buy those $10 packs because I'm not going to be behind. So if people flip-flop, I don't blame you. You can say what you want. It's fine. People do it all the time, me. So there you go.
Oh,
Do you guys have a sense of what the percentage was for Jedi Knight Revan in comparison?
I think we have a poll for that. I'd have to go and
back
figure
then?
out where it is. We should look that up. I'll have to look that up after this. But that is a good question. I'm pretty interested. HK47.
Go and I'll see if I can look it up.
Okay, go ahead. There you go. HK47 rework was expected, but Bastila Fallen rework was not. Why do you think we are getting a rework for her? I'll go over this pretty quick. I'm pretty sure. I know I think that this was planned for her when she was even released. They're like, we're gonna release her, but not put things in her kit that would hint Darth Revan, because they're not doing a lot to her kit except adding a few things, adding a new unique, and but pretty much it's just making her work with Darth Revan now. So I think they're reworking her to add in the things that she might have always was supposed to have, but 57% of people said they were hiding synergy with Darth Revan until he was announced. Well, apparently that was an answer, so there you go. 57% of people are on the same train as me. 22% said the Revan Arena team needed a little more oomph, and it needed to be on someone other than Revan. And the next highest was 10% on they are eliminating some negative interaction, infinite combo before it happens. Which also makes a lot of sense from what we saw with the further information they posted towards the end of today. This poll was posted before they put out that post, and they did talk about how they didn't want HK's interactions to make that happen. So, I don't know.
That's the one I picked, yeah.
No. Any other information on that question? I think we're about to get to the one I really want to answer.
So I found a poll from episode 119 that was regarding Jedi Knight Revan. This is kind of interesting. So, what is your guess for time frame for a second iteration of Jedi Knight Revan Journey? And the largest percentage was 33%, and those people said 4 months, and it was damn near exactly 4 months.
It wasn't really, and that's what the most people picked. Is that what you said?
Yes. What? Oh wait, hold on. No, 5 months. I thought we were still in February. Never mind. It's 5 months. That was the smallest portion of people. Y'all were wrong.
Y'all were wrong.
I am trying. Okay, so do you believe that you will be able to unlock Jedi Knight Revan at the on the event's first iteration? 37% said probably not. 23% said no chance, and there was basically 18% of people that said yes.
So we're
And
double
that
now.
was- Yeah, it's doubled now, and we had 258 responses versus 190.
So if we got up to 250 on this one, the number might even increase more for people that were, if we go by what the averages were right there. So
Well,
that's
technically the averages would, or the percentages wouldn't change, but
right. We just get more answers in the same vein, is what I meant.
interesting.
Well, to go off what you were just talking about from chat, Chickenbottom, at the time everyone was thinking Sith would be the February month as well. So I can't blame them. I thought the same thing.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
There's a couple more. I'm gonna skip this one, the excited question, because it follows the exact same bell curve. All 5 rating questions answer. For the excitement of reworks of Bastila Shan and HK47, 4 is the highest. This time 3 is the second highest, 5 is the third highest, and then 2s and 1s trail off. So people are excited for them. Cautiously optimistic, I like to call that bell curve. This is the question that I think has been on everyone's mind, and I feel vindicated by the answer to it. The question was, how disappointed are you that you will probably not be getting a 3 Zeta meta-defining Gamorrean Guard? And if I could have put a 10 here, I would have, because my Gear 12 Gamorrean Guard is really upset right now. So 93 of you agreed with me. 48% of the poll said it's 5. It's really disappointing that we're not getting that 3 Zeta Gamorrean guard, and I'm with you all. The rest of you understood that this was a joke question. Almost 28% of you said 1, I don't care, but I guarantee half you people haven't even put a single gear on your Gamorrean guard. It's sad. It's really sad. He's amazing. Stop pushing down Gamorrean guard. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there. What gear level are your Gamorrean guards? And go.
9-ish.
I don't know.
Mine is not unlocked.
Oh my god, you guys hurt me. My heart hurts.
Sorry.
It hurts.
I'm
I
sorry.
love my Gamorrean guard so much. And then even back then, and I saw some people saying this in pod chat all week, Gamorrean guard was the one I went after. I didn't go after Jawa Engineer first. It was Gamorrean guard. Don't ask me why. I thought he was going to be a cool tank. He doesn't even use his taunt before his other special, so he's a terrible tank. But man, I really love Gamorrean guard. Oh,
I'll tell you what.
He is ugly, man.
You got if you have to get these Old Republic characters gear 12, Gamorrean guard might work for you, man. You got yourself a nice little tank for that Karth lead, you know.
Dude,
go.
that's what I'm saying, man. Because like it's always boiled
You're
down
lucky.
to either being Wampa,
But
Wampa or Gamorrean guard with Karth. That's what I want to go with. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens once I get them geared.
You got him. Yeah, put him in there.
I've seen wins with Gamorrean guard under Karth for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, we do
Well,
that
I'll have to give it a try.
Jedi Academy and Warriors on there, and he really likes the Vader lead of the Gamorrean guard in that 3-3 with Ordo. It's a team he's constantly talking about on the Jedi Academy. So that one could be pretty good for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking through. You guys are seeing all these, all the comments, the extra feedback comments on the stream. My favorite is, I suggest sniffing my fart, bruh. I'll make sure to think about that. So, yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
People want to see old guests back like Mubaka.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of
Mubaka,
old
he's not
guests
in
we gotta
chat
talk
tonight.
to. I know.
Yeah.
Where is that dude? Come on, bro. Come back.
Damn it, Mubaka. Where you at, bro? Anything else we want to talk about poll related?
No, there's actually something I want to, it's not in the notes that I wanted to mention that I don't know how I didn't put it into the notes at all, but I wanted to talk about because I think it is kind of big and it's kind of foreshadowing so we can all say what we think it means. But there was a post this week that also put out there that phases 4 through 6 of the territory battles will now have not include marquee characters or newly released characters. So it's kind of start going. It's not going to be what was it before? Random. It's not going to be random anymore. It's kind of going to go more towards what phases 1 through 3 were for phases 4
Yep.
through 6 now. So it'll kind of be more predictable for all of that. And there's been a lot of speculation on why that change happened this week. Did you guys read that? And
Yeah,
what
it's
do you guys
great.
think about that?
This is great news. Well, I mean, what this means to me is they are no longer committing manpower, hours, resources into territory battles. They've X'd that out. They're like, God, everybody complains about this, which means they're putting those man hours, hopefully, into some new content. Maybe a new raid or something like that. Like, they're just going to lock down territory battles. It is what it is. It will bore us to death for the rest of eternity. And we can just, just move on to the next raid. Something cool. So I'm excited about this.
See, the funny thing about that statement is that I immediately thought there's going to be a new territory battle map.
Well, maybe. That would be new content, though. Something new.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest. Territory battles are probably my least favorite part of the game. It's just...
Here's the part where I
I
hurt
don't
feelings.
care.
I would rather do a territory battle than a territory war.
Oh,
So there, I said it.
But you're about to give one panelist here a stroke. Be careful.
I heard her gasp, so I looked at the screen to make sure she didn't fall over. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I am not a territory war fan, and I do like territory battles. And the idea of a new one. No, I will say this: the ones we have are incredibly boring now. They've outlived their usefulness and they're fun. Even though I still haven't got max stars on Darkside yet, but I'm ready for a new one if they introduce a new one and add new things to it. I don't want a new one of what we have now. I would like a new one with new mechanics, if that makes sense.
If you're a PvE player, I mean,
Which I am.
PvP has something different. So we have Arena, we have Grand Arena, which is amazing. We have Territory War, which is fine. But the PvE people, unless you're still trying to get to Treya, like the Sith Raid, like for most people that have been playing this game for a little while, it's not really, there's no PvE in-game content at all right now. The Sith Raid it's just kind of bland and boring at this point. Territory battles, it's about your galactic power trying to get the final star, or whatever final stars you're working towards. For the most part, it's not really about efficiency. Galactic War was the ultimate PvE game mode. Like, it was so good because it was different. It was always challenging, the way it moved. And it's simmable, you can still play it, but we need something like that that's more scalable, that individual people can play themselves. Because I think that's part of the problem of a lot of the PvE stuff that we have is kind of stuck doing it with your guild.
You make a really good point there because, like I said, I like PvE more. And right now in game, most things are simmable, but it gets more fun towards the end of territory battles where I can start playing with different teams and play the team against harder PvE content where if you screw up or you make a wrong move, you might not end all 6 out of 6 or 4 out of 4. So I want something like that where I can come up with teams to try, I can play the ones I have, and it's challenging. That I don't know. I hope there's something new, for sure.
Vos Landeck put in the live chat, Mythic Galactic War Mode. That would be cool.
You know what? The last time I thought about Galactic War at all, besides the sim button, was when I had quests that I needed to get done by just fighting battles with full teams.
I'm
That's
still
about the
working
only
on that
time I
Boba
think
Fett
of.
one of my Galactic War. Still.
Oh, man.
6 months later. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just what a terrible choice it was to pick that one. Like, I'm already like getting to the 300s now with Boba Fett lead, so I mean, I gotta keep going. It sucks.
Those bounty hunter quests are awful.
Do you remember how hard Galactic War was before they changed it? Like, it didn't matter what team you had. You had your very best team, and there was nodes like 9 and like 11 and 12 where somebody has a way better team. It's just like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be nice.
I used to think that was so much fun.
Yeah, it was. But now that we can sim them, if you don't want to deal with it would take you probably 45 minutes to get through it. You can sim it if you want to practice. Like,
it's just not challenging, though, and that's the problem.
Oh, it's awful.
There is no challenging PvE content, which is a serious problem because, for the most part, I think PvP players kind of have what they want at this point with the Grand Arena if they would just make it go all the time. And as you guys discussed on your live stream, was it Tuesday when you all were talking about it? The data mine that was talking about the tournament and like the various tiers of Grand Arena. And if they ever add that in, I mean, that would be just amazing.
I really feel like they have to at some point.
Well,
because every game I ever played where it's like, okay, be the top of the arena or be the top person in the game is it has a tier system. So like that data mine showed tiers, and winning certain amounts of Grand Arena moved you into the next tier, and you kept moving up, and then it reset at the end of the season. When they came out with Grand Arena, they said, who's the top player? Find out playing Grand Arena, but there's really nothing to say in Grand Arena now. Who's better than anyone? There's no point system, there's no leagues, there's nothing. It's just, hey, I've won this many, word of mouth thing. And that's why when
I'm better than 7 people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh.
I beat these guys you guys don't know about. But it's like I'm sure you guys are saying, like, that's the perfect way to do what they said when they introduced the mode. Reset it on seasons, base it off some kind of point system, win your wins, that where just having 3 wins doesn't have everyone tied at the top. Do something to put that league in there, and I think that would just elevate that mode even more, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you'd have to make it like a constant thing, though. Like you really would. Yeah, I mean, and then really, now the more I thought about it since Tuesday, I don't think there'd be a bracket system at all. Like, regardless of your GP, we're all in there together. But like, if you're like 500,000, 750,000 GP, a new player, you're not going to be able to get out of the Bronzium League, right? Like, you're going to be in the Bronzium League, and the Bronzium League would hopefully give you GP relevant type rewards. Maybe some MK3 blue balls, some droid collars, maybe some purple mats. These are the things you need when you're a low player. And then if you can graduate up to the next tier, then you get some Carbonis or something like that.
I would think that it would also be broken down by GP the same way the defenses are, right? So if everyone's in this area, that's your league, and you have 5 leagues inside of that. And then if you're 1.5 to 2, that's your grouping, and you have 5 leagues inside of that grouping. And then that way those people could fight for the top of their GP ranking, you know what I mean? That would make the most sense to me. Because like you said, those people at just new players, they might get a little discouraged knowing, hey, until I've played this for 3 years, I can never be the top player for my, whatever. But so if they grouped it by GP and had the leagues inside of those GPs, that would be pretty cool. Now, I don't know how that would work if you switched from one bracket to the other in the middle of a season. That would go, but I mean, it'd be cool that way, I think.
It makes sense.
There was something that Joker mentioned in chat that I really liked. Where was it? Mythic Galactic War. You can only take in one team, and all opponents are like top 50. Well, that kind of reminded me of something that there was an old Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 4 maybe? I can't remember exactly which one. But it had a tower, and the tower was infinite, and you would go in and you would see how far you could climb that tower. That would be awesome if we could have that in Galactic War, where you go in with a team and you just see how many teams you can beat consecutively. Your health, protection, turn meter all carry over to the next team, and you just see how many teams you can go through, and the rewards constantly stack based on the number of teams that you go through.
Oh, like a horde mode.
That would be so
awesome. Horde mode.
Oh,
cool.
man, that would be awesome.
I'm down for horde mode.
Man, that would be so cool. It just runs like a week long, because that would be great.
Yep, that would be so awesome.
All right, so welcome back, T. Glad to see we
Thanks.
didn't lose you. I was worried for a second. I was about to start to send out the search party.
I went up for a latte.
Oh, perfect. Did you bring me one? All right, the next section I wanted to ask you guys, you three. I'm going to be the moderator here. You tell me yay or nay. You two will vote this in or out. These are suggestions I pulled from Reddit of quality of life changes that are not in the game, and I want to know if you are interested in them actually being in the game, okay? So I'm going to read them off. These are all Reddit posts. I got the people's names here, so I'm gonna give them the credit for these ideas.
I need to put
Some
on
of
my
these names
video
I can't
tab.
even read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on your. I didn't put the Nerf Revan one in here that we talked about earlier. That's not in here, so that's not there. But we'll go from here. So the first one I want to ask you guys. Ability to move squad builder tabs. I know this is kind of a small thing, but if you go in there and you build tabs, wherever you put those tabs is where they stay. Is that something that you would like to be able to move around? Because if you want to move tabs now, you got to delete them and do it all over again.
You guys asked us to prepare something for tonight, like earlier today, and this was actually on that list. Like, you can do it. You can do it with the mod loadouts. You can alphabetize them. Like, if you want something to go to the very front, you just put, like, AAA in front of it, and it will go all the way to the front. But there's no way to do that with a squad loadout. It's awful. Because, like, the tabs I made 6 months ago no longer apply. Like, they're just there. I don't know. Yes.
You can delete them, right?
Well, yeah, but then I have to copy them all. No. I don't. Yeah, I'm obsessive with my tabs in this game. Yes. Yes to that, fella.
2 yays. How about you, Wink? Ability to move squad builder tabs. So you can organize
absolutely. Why?
Right.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Don't give me this nonsense.
I always thought that was an option until I read this today, and I'm like, no. Well, no, actually, I went and deleted tabs today. Some of my old, like... I made a Dark Side Territory Battles tab when it first came out, and I looked at those teams today, and I'm like, delete. I don't need that tab anymore. What is this? Who are these people? What was
I'm
I
quite
thinking?
sure there's a Wigs team in my first tab.
Exactly.
So
I still
Come on, there's a Wigs team in your last tab.
Yeah,
Don't
perhaps,
lie.
but-
Do not lie.
This will make you laugh. My first tab still has a team in it that back in the day on SWGOH, if you sorted all your characters by their top power, I have a team in there that I would always set into Galactic War so that the rest of the Galactic War was easy. And that hopefully those last two would be bugged. So those last two would be bugged. That's I don't know if you remember how to bug the last two of Galactic War back in the day.
yeah.
Oh man, that team is still in my squad builder. Classic.
Yeah, Sunfac and fives. Just like
like just the most random team ever. All right, next question. Ability to sell mods from the rewards screen instead of the current system. So not having to send it to your inbox and then go and sell mods to bring those mods into your mods and then sell them. Being able to sell them from the mod screen or from the reward screen.
Yeah, I say this all the time.
No,
for sure.
no.
100%.
No, from the reward screen. Like, but if you get a bunch of white mods, you're gonna sell the. Oh, I guess the threes. You could sell the threes and the 4 dots for sure. But I think it's more when you're leveling them up. I just want to be able to sell it right then and there.
Yeah. Just more sell buttons.
Whenever I get a mod from these like mythic events and stuff, I don't want to have to go and track them down to sell them. If you don't agree with this, I have no respect for you.
the biggest thing about this one to me is like, let's say I like we've said on the previous podcast, there are events that I just don't do anymore because they have nothing in them. But some of the events that still have gear that I want to get that gear also have mods that I don't want those crappy mods that come with it. And then when I do the event, it still sends the mods to my message center. And if I ever want that message gone, I have to sell a mod, then collect that mod, and then sell that one too. It drives me nuts.
You're talking about that event where you get like 4 low grade shards and like a 4-star health mod. It's like that one's the worst.
Well, there's an event where you get one mod and you get a bunch of shards, and then you get you can get stun guns or carbontes, and then there's some gear you want. So I always do it for the gear, but then I get the mod that sits in my inbox for like 3 days where I'm finally like, okay, I got to get rid of this thing. It's driving me nuts. So let me sell them at the reward screen.
That's a good thing about having your mod deal full is they go to your inbox and then you can just ignore them and they'll disappear eventually.
29 days. I have a red dot in my message box staring at my face. Annoying
Never.
Yeah, that would drive me
Never.
crazy.
I could never do that ever.
I click on
It's
it. I
not
click on it
390s,
twice. I'm like,
it's-
oh, red
it's-
dot. Oh, red
Yes.
dot. Then it's gone.
Every time I
It's
log in, I
380.
wouldn't realize what it was, and I'd have to click it like, ooh, I got a new message. Oh, it's that.
It would trick you
freaking
29 times.
Yes, exactly. All right, here's another interesting one, and I put the description because the name of it just doesn't make a ton of sense if you just name it. So it's mod snapshots, and this is what it is. I would love to have the ability to take a snapshot of the placement status of my entire mod library. Situationally, I would like the option to throw a loadout on someone and a bunch of other people so that when it pulls them off of your other characters, once with a mod snapshot, you can go back and reload that snapshot so that all your mods go back to where they were. And if you move things for like an event or anything else, you could reload your snapshot and all your mods go back to the characters that they were on. And you can move mods as much as you want for things. And you can change your snapshot at any time. If that makes any sense to you.
So for this. I am so for this. The only thing is that if you like, so you could you could mod it all for territory wars, take a snapshot, and then maybe your raids you're going to build one team at a time is a little bit different. But for the only thing is when you want to change them back, like when you want to say revert to this loadout, I think it needs to get you to type something in there, you know, when the confirmation's like yes or no, and then or it says I confirm this. Because I would just change it all back to like one that's like 4 months ago and be like, you know, just by accident.
Yeah,
so
that
I think
would
that's
be-
the reason
that
that I
would
think
really
maybe they
stink.
don't have that in there, because they would get a lot of customer care support calls being like, I just changed all my mods back.
I just changed my mods back to the Wigs era, so can we not do that?
I think this one was
I would
good.
love the snapshot though. That would be my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, I think we're like a baby step away or two, like from this. Like there needs to be like a middle quality of life update before we start getting that sophisticated with it.
Well, one way they could do like one way they could do a step towards that would be to be able to just move entire. Never mind, that's a dumb idea. They have that with loadouts, but there's a lot of things where people were like, I want to take all the mods off of Yoda to this character. Never mind. This is something I saw a lot on Reddit, but I realize it's just mod loadouts. So we're going to move on. Filter. Please just forget everything I just said. Filter character, the ability to filter characters by their farming location. I don't think this is necessarily an in-game one, but one that newer players might be interested in.
Yeah,
This is a nay. This is a nay
I
for
don't-
me
what's the
because you can
benefit?
go to the stores, but well, that's the question. The benefit is like, okay, here's an idea. I want to know what Cantina farms I have left without having to just
And
look at every
peaceful.
Cantina farm. You could sort by Cantina farms and see who you don't have 7 stars, or you can sort by hard nodes and see who you don't have farmed yet. That's the type of idea I think this is. I don't think it's necessary per se. It was just an idea, so I just wanted to see what you guys thought.
Can I just say I want to see the faces on the Cantina nodes? That's what I want.
That would make this irrelevant to
Like,
me.
yeah.
Like,
That would
'Cause-
help.
You just go.
Yeah.
It would take you 40 seconds to just go through and see. It's like, yeah. I don't know why they don't have that.
I think this is a terrible idea. I don't understand how it's useful at all.
and it would add just
It
more
seems like
into
a
the filter
serious
that you don't
waste
need.
of man hours.
I don't think
It
it would
was
take
actually-
long to make, but yeah, I'm with you. So nay for me. All right, so
Nay.
yeah, I figure
Nay.
we're all going there. All right, how about this one? Ability to cut off gear requests wherever they are and take the payout. Let's say you need 2 stun cuffs and you have to request. No, stun cuffs aren't a good one. Let's say there's something you need 2 of and the request is 5. You get 2 within an hour and then you have to wait 24 hours to get those 2 unless you get 5 in that 24 hours.
No. If you cannot wait 24 hours for 5 pieces of salvage, you are not patient enough to play this game for less than $3,000 a month. Like, yeah.
Whenever I read this, I was like, yes, But your argument right there, I have no rebuttal whatsoever.
Yeah.
100%.
The only rebuttal I have is that if you can cut it off and get to the next gear level, you might not miss refreshes on shard stores or on stores where something comes that doesn't come in the next day. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff in the gear store that I look for 24 hours that never refreshes into it. If I can get it at that moment because I was able to cut that off, I'd be okay with that. But I'm with you on the whole patience thing. This isn't something that I need. I just thought it was an interesting idea. But I would rather they work on something else. So there's that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll say nay, because they probably have other things to work on.
Not a priority for me.
Yeah. Next one. This one's interesting. Notification for when you're attacked for the first time in Grand Arena.
What's the fun in that? You just gotta neurotically go in there every 15 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. Keep checking it.
I don't get it.
They
I know
just
I'm the
resolved
worst.
this.
I don't attack until like the next day. My opponents will go in and like destroy everything. I'm like, yeah, I gotta think about this. And I'll like literally attack like 18 hours after start. Yeah, that's why I
8
can't
a.m.
stream.
is my 8 a.m. is my favorite Grand Arena attack time.
I
Literally.
hate you.
Good one.
8 a.m. the next day is when I go in there. Right before, most of the time Grand Arena is during my work week. So I'm at work all night and then I'm sleeping most of the day. So right when I'm laying in bed before I go to sleep, then I find my Grand Arenas. 8 a.m. Let's go.
I hate playing guys like you because I work at 8 a.m. so I have to get all mine done, before that. So like I don't really have a choice.
That's
So
another
you have
thing I
both.
love
I do
because
mine at night.
yeah. So I put this under the category of it would be nice, but I don't really care.
I'm gonna say nay, just because they fixed this already. Like you guys now, you don't know this yet, but next Grand Arena, you're gonna get notifications for when it opens, when you place defense, when it's time to place defense, and when it's attack time. That's part of the the quality of life update, I think, that they added. So
Can deal with that for sure.
uh,
All right, next one. Button to put all current gear pieces you have on a gear tier of the character. So let's say you have all green on tier 2. Click this button, hit yes, I'm sure, go to the next gear level. Don't have to do 6 button pushes. Or no.
I would like that for our
12
test
button
account.
pushes.
yeah.
Test
Oh, yeah.
accounts, yes. Regular accounts, I don't think this is a good idea.
No,
I
it'd be
think
too
it's
easy
amazing.
to spend a carb.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm with it. I'm for this one. I'm outnumbered. 1 yay, 3 nays, but I'm okay.
No, thank you. I will accidentally upgrade way too many things at the same time.
If they made it so the gear, if you could see the gear properly, so you could, it's so grayed out, it's like blacked out. If they made it so it was like just showed the gear, and then once you put it on, like highlighted in green or something around it, then maybe. But it would be like I almost clicked a carb onto OHK today, and I was like, click, I'm just gonna wait on you. I would definitely, if it was on gear 8 or something, I wouldn't have expected it.
Well, let me scroll down here a little bit. I'll skip one and I'll go back. But the next one I have is tab. You can choose to show a gear level ahead of where you are, so you know what you need ahead of time. Basically, taking out the SWGOH part of the equation. You don't have to go to the website and look at gear levels to see what gear you're going to need ahead of time on characters. Basically, a tab says, I want to see what gear this person needs at gear 10 or gear 9, so you can farm it in shipments ahead of time by looking at it in game, basically.
SWGOH is permanently open in a Safari browser on my iPhone on some character, no matter what, because I am constantly going and seeing what gear this character may need if I decide to start gearing them up. Like, is it worth it? Like, is there going to be like 12 Carbonis in a gear level? If so, then no. Like, that would be so nice to be able to do it in game easily.
Yeah, I like this one too. Yeah, this one's a good one.
Yeah, I'm with it.
But not everybody uses SWGOH, you know, .gg.
I use it.
Very true
I
as
farm
well.
gear by feel though. I farm by feel. That's what I've been doing lately. I'm like, do I have enough carbs?
I was about to say, are we back to
maybe
the
not.
are we back to the 3-sim thing? I do it
Yeah.
by feel, man. Sometimes
I totally do it by
sometimes
feel.
I want carbs. Sometimes I want stun guns.
My gypsy
Don't
looks
cramp
at
my
my
style.
cards. Yeah.
All right, arena battle stats, defenses, losses, and to whom. Basically, any type of info about your arena team.
No, I battle a lot and fail a lot in arena.
You don't want everyone
just because
knowing that?
I don't want everyone to know that. Like, I'm always trying rev encounters. You know, like yesterday, I failed, I think, 5 times with like my sisters, and my Ray was just against this one team, and I couldn't figure out why it was just beating me, and it was awful. Missed my payout, so I wouldn't give up. Yeah, so
this.
I don't need to know. I don't need.
I'm afraid it would make me
losses.
neurotic, though.
I see. There are plenty of times in the last week even where I've tried to do an arena battle and it says I'm being battled. 5 minutes later, I'm not moved and I can battle again. I would love to know when people have battled me and lost. Like, I just want to know that my team sometimes wins defenses
100%.
when I'm down at 45, and I can think to myself, okay, I dropped 3 times, but I did win 3 battles, so I'm 500 here. It's okay.
That is cool. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that would be really neat.
Yeah, but if you're gonna show all that sort of stuff, you might as well go to like an ELO system, like like in chess. Like you might as well just go to that instead of doing the climbs every day. That's just an excessive amount of information. You know, when I'm in there testing out my garbage teams.
There was another quality of life one I didn't even add to this that was, please let me replay the battles that people do against me. And I'm like, that will never happen, so I'm not even putting that in there, but it might be fun to watch, but get to know your people and put it on YouTube. I don't know.
There are a lot of games where, like, in the arena system, you climb your way up the ladder, and then like you have like an opponent tab, and then the next tab over is like a revenge tab, where if somebody hits you, you can hit them back. There are a lot of games that offer that sort of stuff. I don't think you really need it in this game because it's based on like an hourly payout. But
I need it.
I mean, you can play. I mean, the people you hit every day are going to be the ones that hit you back. So it's just. I mean, you don't really need. That's an excessive tab, I guess. I fight the same people every day. They fight me.
I need to know that Lorena Bobbitt is hitting me back every single day. Okay, so how many days a week is Lorena slamming my arena team? I need to know. Give me those stats. All right. Well, now that things have gotten weird again. Here we go. Tab you can choose. I already said that. Update of gear allowed to be requested. So there's a lot of gear out there that you cannot even request. So this would just update it to be like, all right, maybe not gear 12 pieces, but like, let's say not gear 12 plus pieces maybe, or maybe even up to gear 12 pieces. But there's a lot of gear that you cannot even request.
Yes.
I think this just needs to be updated completely.
I'd ask for shield generators every day.
Yeah, see, there are pieces that's like...
I always need those.
Yeah. I think this should definitely be a yay. Is anyone a nay on this?
Well,
if you are, I respect your opinion and disagree.
I kind of like the planning aspect of like the gold eyeballs, and that people can't ask for that. I think that's just like a freaking can of worms to open. You know, stun guns already, it's like everybody needs stun guns, everybody needs carbs, but those gold eyeballs, I just feel like I give a lot of donations, and I just feel like I would never have another gold eyeball again in my life.
But here's the thing about that. This might cut down on people that somehow...
It's the cheapest thing to get.
Well, that's why I don't mind that they're not requestable, because you can get them for cheap. But if we expanded this, maybe we would stop seeing so many Carbontes and stun guns that never get fulfilled.
That's fair. That's
maybe, yeah.
Like, homie.
If anybody in my guild's watching, like you ask for stun guns, I'll give them to you, but I'm cussing you at the same time. So, like, just maybe.
Like, yes,
If
I only
donations
have
don't
3.
get filled in my guild, I get really fussy. Like,
You know, we used to have a system
Like that.
for, like, we had an entire chat that was about helping people fill donations. So we would basically let people team up into groups, kind of, and they would all donate to each other. There'd be like one person looking for this, someone else looking for this, and it just works out that there's enough people that's not looking for the same thing that they can give stuff to the other people. And we kind of formally quit doing it, no particular reason.
Well,
but that was
I know the
ridiculously
reason.
effective.
I know the reason because we made that chat when the achievement was around, and people would put it in there to try to help get people to donate for their achievement
yeah.
and help donate themselves for
Oh,
the
I
achievement.
remember that now. Yeah,
So
I do remember. We had something similar, or just in general.
but it worked out really well in the end.
People asking for like white and green gear, just to get it done and over with.
I asked.
Yes,
for a
that's
lot
how
of
it, that's how it
green
ended up.
gear, just because, like, I don't want to spend 50 crystals of energy trying to farm that crap when a lot of people already have them, and 24 hours I'll have 10 of them.
God, those Rancor scanners, all the junk you need to go with the actual pieces. I never have that stuff.
I just wish
Plenty of
people
boom
would
boxes.
say
None of the crap
yes.
that goes with them.
Please
No
request
cables.
boom boxes. I will give
Boom
you
boxes.
every single one I own. Like, you can have every boom box I have.
in
So-
in my youth, we called them ghetto blasters.
Oh yeah, ghetto blasters are awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I really miss?
Uh,
Portable tape decks.
Ghetto
Are we
blasters.
gonna-
Ghetto
Can we-
blasters, yeah. Remember American Hilarious?
That 1980s Caucasian lifestyle, boy.
the more tweeters, the better. Next one, we got filter mods by level.
Yeah. How the hell don't they
So-
have that? I always
Yeah,
look for that because I just want to see my level 1 mods. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know why level's not in there, but that's definitely one I would like to be added.
I do think some of these things they just don't like. I don't know. I'm always trying to suss out like how much do the people who make this game play this game, and with something like that, it's so important. You know, for everyone who I play with, it's such an important part of farming mods that it just seems to me like, do you guys just not know how important that is? That's another one of my tangents that you have to laugh politely at. Thank you. Good job.
I'm good at that. I'm good at it. All right.
Yeah.
Next
It'd be interesting
question.
to take this questionnaire that we're doing, like 8 months from now. Like, I think if there's like a quality of life in between now and then, like a lot of these things were like, nah. They're like, yeah, because there's nothing else to fix. So
Yeah, they're like, there's no.
It's
We're
like,
running out of quality of life things to do. Like half the time they come up with things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I needed that, but I love it now.
yeah.
Like when they move bronziums to the front of the card store, and I'm like,
Oh,
that was
Oh.
the best.
I don't have to do this ever again. This is
yeah.
great.
No more
I
accidentally
never
buying
know
fleet
what
packs.
packs are there now because of that.
Yeah, half the time I only know there's only 4 packs that exist: bronzium and the 3 next to them.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, why are they doing this? There's something sneaky gonna happen. And I'm like, I don't know. They're just
Nothing
stupid.
yet.
Please
Like, that
spend
was
all
a
your
dumb move, man.
bronziums.
Pretty much.
This one is one I want simply as a guild leader that is still working on stars and territory battles. I don't understand why there's not a review period for territory battles. Like once it ends, you can't snapshot how many
That
stars
is
you got.
really
You
weird.
can't snapshot how close you were to certain amounts of stars. Once the 6th phase ends, it's gone forever. You have to
And then
snapshot
there's
it
a
an hour
review phase
before
for
it ends.
everything
and-
else.
Yeah, it's review phase
Grand
for
Arena,
territory battles. I
Territory
want it.
War. Crazy.
Because I want to figure out how to maximize in Darkside territory battles that right now, because I think the number is 210, 215 for 48 stars in territory or Darkside territory battles, and we're not there yet, but I want to know how close we are on stars and stuff, but I'm always asleep after a 12-hour shift when the last phase of Darkside Territory Battle ends. And then when I wake up, it's gone. There's no review. I don't know what happened in the last 3-4 hours of the Territory Battle. I don't know. I just would really like a review phase.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I'd like more than a review phase. I want all of the stats on everyone who failed, everything. I want to know. I don't want to like go through. It's like, oh, I got, 980 shards, Leia shards. Like, who the hell failed that mission? I gotta go and like look and see. So I'd be like, what did you forget? What happened? Because
If I cared at all about TB, I would agree with you.
I'm with you. I like stats. I like all stats.
I like
Start
all the
giving us
stats.
more
And I want to
stats.
help people. Like if I don't know, like someone's like failing constantly at territory wars, it's like, I have to sit there and look so that I can know who to help, or else, yeah.
Help.
All right, so
help.
this one I am almost 99.9% sure you will all agree with. And if you have a compelling counter argument, let me know. But this one is my own. No more 4-star mods in the mod store once you hit level 85.
Yes. 100%. What a waste of junk that is.
I mean, how often do you like scrolling and you're like, gold mod? There's a gold mod. Oh, it's 4-star. Don't even bother. Keep growing. It's 4-star this and then.
All the time.
I just think that once you hit a certain level, they should all be 5-star.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that I do spend, I wouldn't say the majority of my crystal refreshes, but once I get going on those 15s, I will go until I don't have any crystals left. Like it's such an addictive thing. And I think they probably make a lot of money off of that. So if they filled those all with just 5-dot mods,
you might want
I'm going to find what I want. I'm going to find what I want and run out of credits way more quickly than if they scatter absolute crap all over the place, which is what it is now.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw a screenshot on Reddit like 2 weeks ago where some guy got a refresh that was all 4-star mods. And I'm like, well, that kind of really sucks. All right.
Yeah. Ask Apple for a refund for like 8 cents.
Please give me my 8 cents back. I didn't put this last one in there, so whoever did, let us know.
That was me.
All right. What is it? I don't understand.
Upgrade mods from 4-star to 6-star. You can
I
add
think
stars
I know
on
what you're saying.
characters. Why not add stars? I mean, you can add a star from 5 to 6-star. Give us a way to take a mod from 4-star to 5-star, especially if you're going to leave the bloody 4-star mods in the friggin' store.
I feel like I can't disagree with you on this. I feel like you feel very strongly about it.
Let me sacrifice a Carbonte.
I have
I'm scared right now.
seriously kick-ass.
Some feelings.
I probably have 4 or 5 absolutely kick-ass 4-star mods that I actually use on very good characters, but I can never do anything more with them. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. Fix it.
Get your ass some 5-dot mods. That's what you need to do.
Still though.
Oh, I need to.
Still
I have 3 left.
When you have a 4-dot mod with 18 speed,
Yeah.
you're gonna use the bastard. You can't not use it.
I'm with you, man. Now I get what you mean for sure.
Yeah.
So
Very annoying.
I'm with you. I have plenty. I think I probably have 5 4-star mods that they're now at their limit because they're not 5-star mods. So I'd be totally okay with this.
I'm curious to see exactly how many 4-dot or 4-dot mods I have that are, like really good speed. I'm sorting them by speed right now, and the best I have is 18.
Wow.
I have a 17, a 16, a 15, and then 12. So I have 4 mods, and one of them's purple. So, could proc again, possibly. Like, these are mods I would love to take to 5 and then 6 star. Like, wouldn't be that difficult. Come on.
All right, so
I have a 13. I still use that 13 all the time. Love it.
Right?
Yep.
I am completely in the same boat. The last question I have for you guys. Did you have any others that you wanted to add on to this?
Oh, there's one I was just thinking of.
Well, I actually made a list, and I think 3 of them got crossed out because we've already covered them. It's just funny. I mean, the anything else that I can think of is like real nitpicky. You know, like real like just because like this quality of life answered a lot of the problems I had. You know, maybe like if we could favorite mods. I mean, that's silly. That's equally, if not more silly than most of the posts you just mentioned. Maybe increase the mod inventory would be nice.
Yes.
I would pay for
Oh
that.
man,
I
that
would
would
pay
be
crystals
huge.
for that.
Yeah.
No
We're all
problem.
in agreement there.
Like it's getting a little silly. Like we mentioned those assault battles. Some of these assault battles, like the one with Dooku on it, like there's like 3 or 4 levels of it. They each give you like 9 mods.
This is
Just
why
like-
I was talking about the sell mod screen, because half the
Yeah.
time you end up with 6 mods, you got to sell 6 to sell 3 of them and keep 3, and it's like, come on.
That was my
wanna
number
do
one
this.
on the list. Like, you know, instead of like right, even if you're just looking at the mods, like in your inventory, there should be like a sell button right there. You can just sell it right from the screen instead of like a quip. There used to be one like trash. Like why you would ever even trash a mod was ridiculous. When you could just sell it for money. What a waste of a button that was. Like, just let us sell it from the inventory. Because like what happens to me is I'll upgrade some mods like, oh, this one didn't roll well, and I'll go to sell it. And then, like, you look at all your mods together, and you're like, well, it doesn't look so bad now, and you end up keeping everything. It's just like, just let me sell it right from the screen. Never let me look at it again. Just gone and forgotten.
Yep. I'm with
Yeah,
you, man.
mine are all to do with territory wars, just easier ways for, you know, we do take that game mode seriously. I hate saying like that, but we do a lot of work on it, and I would like to do a lot less work on it. I don't want to see, you know, I want all those statistics to be compiled more easily. Downloadable. Oof, that'd be great. Give me an Excel button. Oh, that would be wonderful. That would solve all the problems in the world for me.
I want a comma delimited file. Comma delimited file. Import to
Yes.
Excel.
Absolutely. Now you're talking.
I like Virus's message in chat. Need to be able to salvage mods into mod slicing materials instead of selling them. Let me do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I would never sell
That's
a
very
mod
cool.
again. Depending on like the level of the mod or the tier of the mod, if I could salvage it into mod salvage, that'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
I can do it. I really, really like that one. So.
For sure.
All right, Wink, why don't you lead us into the trivia, and I will be back in 2 seconds.
I don't know where the trivia button is. This is sad. Oh, there it is.
It's time for the sexy bearded duo to battle in their SWGOH knowledge in the most exciting trivia event in the Outer Rim. It's time for the Shattered Order trivia. May the Force be with you.
All right. So, Shattered Order trivia this week. All right. So, we're doing something new. We're trying the community thing yet again. If you guys will go to join.quizizz.com, that is spelled QuizizZ.com. Go there, sign up, and there is a pin code. The pin code will be, let's see, 950863. I'm putting it in chat. It will also be in the show notes, of course.
Am I a teacher, a student, a parent, or not connected to a school?
I don't know, but this stuff is like playing hardcore music apparently. How do I make this stop? It's kind of nice, but
But
oh,
the
there
copyright
it is.
strike.
Thank God.
It's just.
That's not being recorded, thankfully. Unless my mic picked it up, hopefully not. Alright, so I'll be honest, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. We'll see how it goes whenever GMP gets back, which he is back now. This is similar to Kahoot. If you didn't already know Kahoot, we had to quit doing because they limited the number of people that could do it down to 10 people from whatever the hell it was before, and that created serious problems for us. So,
and surprisingly, more than 10 of you listen to us, so that's... I don't know.
Shocking, actually.
I'm just saying.
So Quizizz.com. Join.quizizz, QUIZIZZ.com, and the promo code is 950-863. And yes, boss, I totally agree that music is hypnotic. It is kind of nice. It's kind of creepy.
How do I make it stop?
Yeah, you'll have to go up to the little setting bar in the top left corner and turn it off.
Oh, mute this tab. Beautiful.
Because...
There it is. I got
Do
it.
I need to save my progress?
I don't. I just logged in as a visitor for now.
Okay.
Oh man, there's a lot of you guys. I'm gonna.
Oh no, it's counting me down.
I
will
will enjoy beating us. All right, so we're going into the first question. Here we go. Starting with question 1. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Which of these characters did not have a stacking health? First Order Executioner, SWGOH, Darth Nihilus, or L3?
Oh, dude, we just gotta take the whole thing. Like it's just like a speed test.
Yeah, it's just going. You gotta go.
Yeah.
I've already.
Oh yeah, it's timed.
All right. Well, so there's that.
Let's do it. Let's do
Which
it,
of
guys.
these does not pre-taunt? L3, Zombie, Sith Trooper, Zalbar.
I was taking longer. Oh wow, it just keeps
Ooh,
going.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, this is way too fast. This is not going to work for on air. Who is the hardest farm for most people for Darth Revan? Karth, Juhani, Canderous, HK-47, or Basilis Sean? That seems like it's a. That seems like it's based on what you feel is the hardest. Yeah.
I think there's some math to it.
Who can't give retribution to allies? Chirpa, Garazeb, General Kenobi, or Chief Nebbit?
Well, this is way, way faster.
Yeah.
Well, I got that. I got that one
Which
wrong.
character had the shortest amount of time between their introduction to the game and their first rework?
Well, what were the answers? Can't read it without the
Well,
answers.
people
Come
are
on,
easy
bro.
again, so
I
have to
don't
hear about it
remember.
the rest of my life.
I'm falling.
Whose double
I'm
tap is
falling.
based only on
Oh,
chance? Cad Bane,
no.
Ezra, Boba Fett, and Django.
I'm defeated in Shattered Order trivia. Oh, it's a hard day.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
this one doesn't count. Like, this one kind of threw us for a loop. We're like about ready to discuss
Yes,
the first
this
question.
is
What
a
is
trial.
happening?
We're not sure how this is going to go. Most of these have a move that inflicts debuffs but does no damage. Who does not? Greedo, Cassian, Juhani, Rose, Logray.
Rose. I mean, I might have got
Then you
wrong.
push the
So
button.
fast I didn't pay attention.
You said it, and I still clicked Logray.
Nice.
That was really stressful. Can we do that one over?
Oh,
that was
God.
that was rough.
That was
I got-
stressful. Holy
All right,
crap,
right,
I
we're
got
up.
them all right, though. Woo!
You guys just, like,
Did you
Nice.
really? Well, then I really dislike this type of trivia. I went 3 for 7. So how'd you guys do?
probably not.
I didn't do very well. I got 4.
Well, you beat me.
I don't
So
want to
what's
talk
your
about it anymore.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
All right, so
I think it needs to be set to more than 5 seconds next time, maybe.
Yes, I agree. We'll see if what we can do as far as adjusting that.
Maybe there's an option to stop between questions. That would be perfect. Then we can
Yes.
actually read the questions and
we'll
the
have
answers,
to do some
and
more
then
research.
It was
was
like a
fun,
trivia game at a bar. You get the little pad. I mean, I didn't know. I thought it was going to be like answer the question. We like make fun of each other for getting it wrong, and we move on to the next.
That's what we thought too. Although Tash did say that trivia would be quick this week, I didn't realize this is what he was talking about. So we all
this is
figured
trivia
it
for
out
us
the same.
East
it
Coasters.
would,
Yeah.
that was trivia on crack right there.
All right,
Hey,
so we'll go
where did I
ahead and
go?
go through.